Ahoy, lay lovers! It's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. Hello, hi, welcome, hello, everyone. Um, it's important to me that you understand what the musical cue is, except it's gone now, which is the peak irony. Uh, I've kept a mystery what we'll be playing tonight, but now it is the time for the reveal. Everyone knows I shifted it over to the title when I went live. It's I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator. This is a real video game that exists on God's Earth. I saw someone play like a half hour of this like 7 years ago or whenever it first came out. And I don't know if they were doing it deliberately, but they got like a bad end very quickly. So I actually haven't seen very much of this game, and it's been many years, so I don't think I remember anything about it. Now, it is important to me that two things must happen now before we proceed. One, I'm going to exit the game, and this will make sense later. But before we proceed any further, I also need, well, I guess it's complicated. I suppose I have to wait. But before I start the game up again, I must absolutely turn down the desktop audio to an insane degree. And the reasoning will become apparent in time. And if I don't remember to do that, it will become extremely unpleasant and apparent simultaneously. So I hope everyone's excited for this. Struck me as an idea that everyone would love, which seemed appropriate for, why did my brain want to say Thanksgiving weekend? I mean, I guess like poultry's involved. For Valentine's Day weekend, I put up a poll. I was like, do people actually want? Mostly, I'm gonna be honest with you. Mostly, I put up the poll because I was like, is there a world where I can still convince chat that it's their idea that I buy and play on stream Five Hearts Under One Roof? And we got there because that's what we're doing tomorrow. Possibly even later tonight. Apparently, this game runs 1 to 2 hours, but I know what my streaming experience is like. So I'm thinking we're probably going to run most of the normal runtime. But, you know, if we end early and don't want to mess around trying some other kind of path through this game or something like that, maybe there's a world in which we start playing Five Hearts Under One Roof by the end of the stream. I don't know. Time will tell. Time makes fools of us all. So, other orders of business. This week has been awful. I think Mystery said I say that every week. For one, I don't know that that's true. Well, I think what you're mistaking is the fact that every week since the start of this calendar year has been awful. For me saying it all the time. That's simply not true. What is true is that this has been the worst like 2-month period of this job since I've started working there at the beginning of 2019. So like, does it sound hyperbolic? Sure, I'll give you that. But like, am I being sincere and like not just always saying that? I genuinely believe that to be true. Like, I'll complain about stuff that happens during a week. But like, I don't so routinely want to punch my own ticket as I do right now. But here we are. We're going to do some real nonsense. And on that note, why don't I go ahead and activate the other thing that I promised? Which, and I don't want anyone to get too excited because it's a really stupid idea, which is why it costs like nothing to do. I have now enabled the channel point redemption for this weekend only. It can be used once every 35 minutes because if you put two of those together, it rounds pretty close to the funny number. Here's how it works. It's not that interesting.
I do not understand how being in a bathroom with two strangers is helping, but
Very
I'm
good.
eager to learn.
I have set up sound cues mostly as a signal to myself to do it because I know what I'm like, and when I don't set up one of those, I don't notice that these get triggered in chat, so they pretty much always have some audio cue for me. I think that's the only new one I added, or maybe there was two. It randomly generates one of a few lewd quotes. I did add that one in there from our recently completed the Sea Ants of Blake Manor, because I think that's just a really funny line of dialogue that someone wrote and then paid a woman to say, and then she said it like really earnestly, and I think all of that is very funny. So that triggers, and then here's the pitch. I randomly generate 3 names from name game, and then we play kiss, marry, knife, basically. The version of that doesn't get demonetized and or upset my mom who's in chat. Hi, mom. That's what we were doing the other night when it booted. Yeah, I'm really mad about this. Someone else pointed this out, that like they're getting alerts about like I literally changed my settings on Steam so people aren't supposed to be able to see what I'm playing. It's making me wonder if I have to defriend everyone, because I can't have fun if it's not gonna cooperate. Sometimes it just needs to be a secret to everybody, and if I can't rely on Steam to do that, we're gonna have a problem. I also can't rely on Steam to turn on. I got like a 40% hit rate on like Steam activating when I like turn on my computer. I don't know what this seems to have changed in the last like 3 months or something. But like now, like a lot of the time when I turn on my computer, it's just like not only does Steam not launch on launch, but it also just like can't be launched. It will not work unless the computer is rebooted again. And then it's beholden to like a 40% hit rate. Yeah, so as I pointed out, this new redemption costs basically nothing, which is partially a response to people complaining that I think most of these redemptions are adequately priced, and also because it's pretty time locked and requires little additional effort on my own part to get it set up. So it's cheap as free for 69 whole channel points. We can play this game twice an hour or so. So let's do an inaugural run, and if you're not familiar with this game, we're going to generate 3 names, and you can play along as well, but I'm going to decide one of them to kiss, which is like have some romantic interest in, one of them to marry, like obviously marry them, it's like a long term, like you'd want to spend time with the person, and then one to knife, because I mean, frankly, there's like a lot of serial killers and people I don't like on this list that I've put into the computer. So like, just as a demonstration, what do we get? The random number generator that doesn't work super great.
Everyone's beloved dog astronaut.
That's a weird
Space
start.
Wolf.
I think I know my initial inclination with everybody's beloved dog astronaut Space Wolf.
Fubuki Clockford, the heiress to the famous Clockford
that's a
family.
spicy one. Her servants call her Dummy Thick.
Tama, 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 hot tamale!
Oh wow. What an assortment for our first run. I don't know. I mean, for one, it's really funny that triggered like third after all of the effort that Demolition went through to try and get that to trigger one time. One funny side effect of me getting this set up is that I realized that I hadn't done the redundant setup on the local button I have configured to do this that doesn't run through the channel point redemption. So there were like 5 names that I had added to the other list that were not on my like local device, so I fixed that, and Tama was one of those. I mean, I'm not gonna marry or knife the dog, which limits the options there. You gotta kiss the pooch, I think. He's a good boy. He's everyone's beloved dog astronaut. I mean, for me, for my money, I'm going, I gotta marry Fubuki Clockford. Her servants call her Dummy Thick. She has infinite money and infinite time because she has time travel powers. She also is just like chill. Like, I feel like we'd get along. So unfortunately, as will possibly be the result of the majority of Somnium Files characters subjected to this game, I'm gonna have to go ahead and knife Tama, regrettably. And I know Sarah's gonna be very upset about that, but I didn't deal the hand. That was the fate of the name game. So that's what that's like. So we need that clock for money. You get it. It's 2026. We can't be messing around. Also, hi to Neko. I figured that Neko. What are we doing to the dog? We're kissing the dog. I was clear about this. It was literally the first one I said, and I was extremely careful about how I presented this. I changed the rules mostly because I didn't want to play the regular game with my mom in chat, and also it gets the same sentiment across. But I'm glad that I had set this ground rule without really thinking it through, because otherwise I was in a world of hurt with literally the first name randomized being Space Wolf. That was going to be a problem. But there we are. I don't know that I have too terribly much to recount of interest from the week. Because I mean, it's just bad, like physical and mental health taking a toll from how bad work has been. I'll give you some cliff notes. At the start of this week, things seemed like they'd be going fine. At the end of Monday, my boss sent out like an initiative sort of being like, I've decided that we're going to like circumvent our like carefully curated rules to deal with this ongoing like fiasco from December with this like new service that's been causing everyone all this strife. And she's like, basically, I'm now forcing everyone to do some like inflammatory stuff we would never under normal circumstances do, to deliberately try and like rattle and disrupt people to force them to give a response. Which in some ways sounds like it makes sense, because like people have been like really like non-communicative and like hesitant to cooperate with us. But really all it does is mean that like the people who already can't be bothered to like read my emails are now just like calling me angrily after like not reading the emails and being like, how come you're like sending us like thinly veiled business threats? And I'm like, gee, I don't know, maybe it's because you're not fulfilling your contractual obligations and pissing everyone I work with off simultaneously. But it still just means like a lot of like stress for me, because like this procedure that my boss wants us to do on like a large scale, for one, means that we're doing redundant stuff with work I thought I had just finished, is that I now have to double down on that and not make progress. And two, is like a hugely detail-oriented task that like quickly became exhausting to the point that like my work has just suffered severely from like not being in a 100% like detailed place to like actively like screwing up stuff constantly because the workload is unreasonable. And then, as I mentioned, the third point just being that like everyone is pissed off about it, and it's very annoying. And then you know, like I said, like the quality of my work has suffered. Like it's still fine, because like my normal quality of work is like way above and beyond what is actually expected of me. But like it's still really annoying to me that this is happening. And then like my bosses started noticing it, and I just like made a comment of like, yeah, like honestly, I feel like we were being stretched a little thin. Like we're kind of being asked to prioritize like almost literally like 5 separate tasks that like literally can't happen at the same time. They all require too much time. And you know, like one of them was sort of like, yeah, I get it. And then the head of my department that same afternoon sent me like the worst thing she could send me, which was like, okay, like on top of like the work everyone's behind on because of this bad project that's been going on since December, like now I want you to just like contact people about them screwing up. We have this process in place where like she has some like rudimentary method to like be alerted to like people like not submitting work, like paperwork that's in proper compliance with what people are supposed to be doing. And it's supposed to be like once a month I have to like reach out to stations about this. Like I did that at like the end of January. I don't know how she generated like another list that's like as long as any I've seen in the last year. And she was just like, yep, so like do this now. This is another like highly detail oriented task. It's another thing that like pisses people off to get it. Is just like I've just been dealing with pissed off people who aren't reading emails all week. And just to summarize the self-pity party here, I want to tell you about probably my favorite email from the week. And obviously, you know I'm not being sincere about this. I'm going to change the name of the individual involved, but the fact that a specific name is involved is kind of relevant here. So like I've been trying to contact this individual for this whole week to verify that they're like actually all set to start a process that's supposed to start on Monday of next week. And got no response. I reached out like multiple times, tried calling, tried emailing, tried calling again today, and like copied their boss on it. And then this person wrote me an email, and I'm gonna cite to you again. I've changed the name of the individual, even though it couldn't possibly incriminate them. But the gist will be the same. I got an email, and I'm going to recite for you the entire text of the email, hyphen Dan. What do I do? What do I do with that? It's like that's some real like Hodor stuff. Guy thinks he's a Pokemon. He just said his own name. He didn't say like, he didn't even say like yes and then do the like hyphen name as like sign off. Like it was just like 3 letters and a punctuation mark, and that was the input I got. So I waited like 10 minutes, and then I wrote back and I'm like, so like the whole text of your email was your name. I don't know if you intended that, but like is that a confirmation that you're doing the thing you're contractually obligated to do next week? No additional response. Did not reply in line, did not call, nothing. Maybe it's not hyphen, maybe it's negative. Maybe he's removing himself. I've seen people do more insane stuff than that in email threads. You know what I've been getting a lot of recently because work is so bad and everyone is on such bad behavior? I've been getting a lot of when I like contact radio stations that have like changed their staff, which happens a lot in radio. Like instead of like discontinuing that person's email or like having people like share a departmental email to make sure it always reaches someone, or like when that person leaves the company, put up like an away message for a while that says like who you should contact instead. These are all like relatively standard ways of handling this type of situation. What I've been getting a lot of instead is like the initial person's email is still active and there's no indication they're not there. After multiple attempts, they'll start like looping other people in, and then like one of them will be like, we'll contact like LaShonda. She's the one who handles this now. And I want to be clear again, I'm more or less like speaking verbatim. Like no email address is included, no like title or anything I could use to identify this person like calling in or something. Like they'll just give me like a first name of a person and they'll be like, just contact LaShonda. And it's like, I don't work there. I don't know who LaShonda is. I don't have LaShonda's phone number. I don't have her email. Why don't you just copy LaShonda? You know LaShonda. You work with LaShonda. Just copy her on the email like an adult. Like I don't know what's with people. I have a pretty strong, like I have a pretty high level of patience and a pretty high like operating like professional manner, but like people have been getting like really sassy Vasco lately, like some like real attitude back from me. One of them was a lady who like tried to pull that on me, like after she like accused me of like negligence in my job for not contacting the right person. I'm like, lady, none of you told me that you have like a new person fulfilling this task. And I've been trying to contact you for 3 weeks, and at any point during those 3 weeks, you could have just like copied the correct person on the email. The fact that you like didn't check your email for 3 weeks isn't my fault. Sounds like I've walked into another terrible Vasco story. The thing is, it's not a good story. It's just the only thing I can tell you about my week is how bad it is, and it's been really bad. Basically, the TLDR on this story is like my company agreed to like partner with an outside company to like handle something on their behalf at the beginning of this year. They have mishandled that horrifically, which has led to like a bunch of problems over the last 2 months. Really, like, I mean, yeah, basically like 2 full months at this point, approaching more. And to make matters worse, my boss just decided she was going to spend her entire week doing a bunch of inflammatory nonsense to like not help actively slow down my progress on like everything that she deems a super high priority, but like annoy me and everyone around me. So like that's what my week has been like. So I will be honest with you that I'm like definitely a little on edge. So if any of y'all think it's going to be funny to push my buttons today, don't be surprised, Pikachu, if I'm a little sassy back. Because if it's happening at work, it's definitely going to happen to someone who deliberately said something that they know is going to piss me off in chat. And that's all the TV there is. Before we start the game up again, I have to decrease desktop audio by 26 decibels. Why do you have to do that, Vasco? What an excellent question. Because I'm going to reactivate I Love You, Colonel Sanders, finger licking dating sim, or whatever the full title is. And here's the thing. When it starts up, it has a fun little animation that you're going to want to watch. It is not subject to the audio settings that you input on the menu. So what's going to happen is it's going to like decimate the countryside with sonic damage. But I've got it turned down so low, it's going to be fine. But like there's not a better way to do this because it's basically hard coded to be insanely loud. So let me go over to here. I don't know what core I'm going to be in. You're going to have to let me know. And now I'm going to restart the game. And now it's not. Why is it not? Right, there it is. That's so loud on my end. You're so welcome for fixing it. And there it is. Now I'm going to turn the volume back to normal because that's so loud. And to you, probably nothing changed other than the fact that someone tried to do a sound redemption that definitely got buried with the desktop audio at minus 26 decibels. But I did warn you as much as I could manage to do so. Wonder what the real Sanders would think of this. What an interesting question. So just to give you a little bit of context, this game came out in, I just looked this up. I think it was 2019. I think I put it in my go live message on Blue Sky, which no one checks, other than Demolition after the stream. So like this was a weird time in KFC lore. Because like for some reason, like KFC was really trying to like aggressively figure out new branding at this point. And like they tried a bunch of like they had like 5 or 6 different actors like play Colonel Sanders in ad campaigns in the span of like 5 years or something like that. In 2019 they released this, a free dating sim based on like a culinary KFC school. It's weird, And then like a year after this came out, maybe like a year and a half, because it was like around Christmas, I'm pretty sure. They did like a 15-minute TV movie with Mario Lopez playing Colonel Sanders that was like sexy Colonel Sanders on Lifetime. This is an official KFC game. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, they would, like, even if it was, like, free, they probably would have got sued to oblivion with the likeness and, like, the name is I Love You, Colonel Sanders. Anyway, I saw Cotillion come in during the intro. What interesting timing. Do I have a did I ever set up the I didn't, huh? I don't have a knife button. I think I set up a temporary one and then deleted it without making a redundant copy. I gotta do some updating to the Stream Deck. I'm trying to like figure out. Well, I won't talk about it because I can't make it work, and I'm not sure it's possible to make it work. I might have to get creative if I want it to work. I want a shortcut to moving around camera stuff that I have a particular idea in mind that I don't think will work. But hang on. I'm gonna give. I don't remember what color I made this. It's been really. I don't look at this menu that often. Where's the there it is. I'm gonna give Sarah a free knife because her knife got destroyed by the game start audio.
I'll use this knife.
There you go. Enjoy it. So I think we're good. Is this a real thing KFC paid to make? That's the question no one will ever be able to answer. But yeah, so I think I've
Get wet.
Has it been 35 minutes already? Oh no, someone just played that sound effect. I borrowed heavily from the list of sound effects that people have to actually pay money for. So it's a rare Valentine's Day treat that some of those will technically be free to activate. Yeah, I don't remember. Like I said, I saw a play. I think the Game Grumps played this when it first came out, and they like found like a bad end in like one of the earliest possible scenes, and then they just sort of gave up on it. All I really know is it's like kind of anime inspired, and it's about like a school where people learn to cook KFC. Now let's play the game. It's only almost exactly 30 minutes into the stream. Go to fight match, ready, go! Before we get started, tell us your name. You got it, video game. It's me. It's Captain Vasco. I feel like I remember these moving the last time I loaded this up. I hope it hasn't crashed. Oh, they are supposed to move. It's just unhappy. It's just unthrilled. So yeah, let me know if I need to be in a different corner or if I need to change the audio, but I think the audio is going to be pretty good. There is not, to my knowledge, any voice acting in this. It's all sound effects and music. It makes me want KFC now. Why do you do this to me? Well, I mean, everyone can enjoy a little KFC as a treat. Also, I think this may be the only viable answer to the question of why they spent any money to develop this game, is that like some number of people, I mean, if you think about it, it is actually kind of brilliant, because like this game is so stupid that like streamers are like definitely gonna play it just to point out how stupid it is to their like viewers, and then like those people are gonna be like, you know what, I haven't thought about KFC in a while. Okay. You sleep softly as the morning sun casts a warm glow through the window of your modest student apartment. The world is peaceful and serene. You could stay in the moment forever. Also, I guess we're a fan of K-pop. Does that K also stand for Kentucky? Do you think that they have Kentucky pop bands in this universe? That is what the alarm clock in this video game sounds like. It's an electronic chicken clucking. Or you can wake up now, your first day of culinary school. It's no time to sleep in. Up and at 'em. Not the chicken alarm. I know, Zach, I'm sure that's what you have at home, so that must be especially disorienting, right? You hate it? You hate it, but listen, are you telling me that you wouldn't spend your, like, hard-earned US dollars on, like, a real-life, like, KFC chicken merch electronic alarm clock? Should have thrown it out the window. No, we have to get this. It's important that we learn chicken. We're going to learn chicken today. Lying in bed, you stare at the ceiling, thinking about everything that awaits you at the prestigious University of Cooking School Academy for Learning. Like I said, it's very anime-inspired. Your mind begins to wander. Spend it on a real chicken alarm. Do you mean that you would buy a chicken? Because you can have the rooster that's around here. I hate it. That guy's my nemesis. In fact, it was like exactly a year ago, earlier this week, that chicken first came and like terrorized me. Hate that guy. Okay, my mind begins to wander. Who will be there? What will you cook? What should you wear? Time begins to fly by. Get it? Chicken. And you find your imagination getting away from you. Do we need to take it seriously or daydream a bit? I don't know. To me, it's important that we get to the culinary school. But what do you think, chat? Are we a dreamer? Do we want to, like, revolutionize the chicken industry? Or is it just that we have to learn about the art super seriously? KFC will help you fall asleep with the sound of fried chicken. Demolition, are you suggesting that the alarm clock also has white noise and that white noise is the sound of frying chicken? I can't decide if that's the best, worst, or bothest idea I've ever heard. One of the podcasts that I listened to recently had a segment that they called Chicken or Bees, which is pertinent to the concept of owning chickens, because no explanation was given, but the intention was to ask, if you were going to raise an animal in your backyard, which would it be, chicken or bees? I'm getting the sense that the majority of chat wants to revolutionize the chicken world, so let's daydream a bit. It's here finally, your first day of culinary school. So many dishes to prepare, so many students to meet. Your mind is swimming with possibilities when you realize you're running late. You grab a biscuit and burst out the door in a hurry. Biscuit eating noises. That's a good screen. Yikes! You're in such a hurry, in fact, you forgot to put on any deodorant before running out the door. You're sweating buckets as you rush to arrive on time. Uh-oh. Standing in the quad, you gaze upon the magnificent University of Cooking School Academy for Learning. Here comes your lifelong best friend forever, Miriam! She's the most adorably awkward person you've ever met, and you absolutely love her for it. Wow, the music, like, definitely got louder in a way that feels weird. Hold on, what is this? Apparently illegal to own a rooster in most places, even in Florida. You have to be at least 100 feet away from other residents to own a rooster. Okay, so here's the thing about the rooster, is that I have no reason to think that it lives within 100 feet of here. That doesn't mean that it doesn't repeatedly get loose and exist within 100 feet of here. It's definitely been wandering around lately. I don't know if it, like, particularly gets feisty in February or something, because it showed up real close to here a year ago. But, like, it's just, like, I hear it wandering in the near distance, like, all day long. Like, the cliche is that the rooster will crow when the sun goes up. But the reality is that this rooster crows all the dang time. Not that long ago, it was crowing at, like, 1 in the morning. I hate that guy. No, that was just that one loud screen that I decided to spend a lot of time on. Good morning, Vasco. Are you excited for your first day of the rest of our lives? Actually, because I sure am. Excited, a little nervous. Okay, a lot nervous. It's just that this morning I made breakfast for myself, but when I ate it, I couldn't taste any love in the food. What if I'm no good? What if I fail? Classic Miriam. Raised by master chef parents, she's always held herself to a very high standard. Ever since we were little babies playing together, you rescued me from that quicksand box. It's been clear to me that you're the most loving, caring person I know. You're gonna do great. Is she doing Tai Chi for chicken chefs? Is that something? Demolition observes, It's illegal to own a rooster, but not like 18 chickens. I kind of get that. Just not the roosters because they're loud. I mean, that's certainly my gripe with the rooster. That and the fact that he does. I wouldn't actually say he confuses the cats, or at least not that I've seen. He doesn't upset them. He does confuse them. He doesn't like scare them. He doesn't. I haven't really seen him attack them. I did see one of the cats trying to chase him when he was spending a lot of time in my backyard last year, and that was a little funny. I'll be honest about that. But mostly because, and this is true, I hate that guy. But with the University of Cooking School Academy for Learning's famous 3-day-only seminars, I'm afraid of being left behind and never catching up. Sweet girl, Miriam has always had a flair for the dramatic. This summer, she got so nervous about her first kiss that she chipped her tooth practicing on a mannequin. There's a lot going on in that sentence. Should you pep talk her or change the subject to give her some relief? I mean, if she's our, like, closest friend, we should probably try to make her feel better. But I will admit that I have some interest in gossiping, A, because I'm into that, and B, because it will tell me something about the school. But I think we gotta help a sister out. Remember last month when we saw that fortune teller and had our tarot cards read? What a wild departure from where we've been, but okay. The lady with the mask who gave me nightmares? I've been trying to forget. I know she looked spooky, but she was so sweet, and she told you that you were destined for greatness. Remember that card with the fancy-looking tower, and that other card featuring the handsome fellow in the red suit? Okay, someone in chat knows enough about tarot to explain, but I'm guessing that the point here is that this is a bad reading that's not good. That lady from the... Oh! So, this is wild. This isn't important, but it's important to me, and I'll convey it because it's relevant to what we've been doing here. So we've been playing through the Seance of Blake Manor recently. We very recently completed it after many hours. And then I guess just earlier this week when I like posted the VODs to YouTube and then like posted about them on Blue Sky, I got a like from the voice actress who plays Fia, who also plays the character in Blake Manor. But it was like, I was like writing about Nelly Kudalat, and I was like, oh, so like when we finally finished Blake Manor, I played like Nelly Kudalat, and it's great. And like somehow, like even though I've been posting like pretty much consistently about Blake Manor, the one time when the voice actress liked the post was when I was talking about another game, which I thought was just really funny. But I appreciated it, and I will cherish it forever. The tower, so like, what? So the tower is bad. I'm pretty sure. I don't off the top of my head know if the devil is a bad card, but it sounds like that's a bad reading, right? I've been waiting so long to meet a handsome fellow I could call my own. And I'm sure you will soon. In no time we'll be graduating, because it's apparently a 3-day course. And you'll be delighting the world with your heartfelt cooking in no time at all. Her pose is extremely anime, but her fingers aren't. As you talk Miriam up, you can feel her nerves begin to eat. Why am I feeling her nerves? You know what? Maybe everything will be okay after all. And if not, at least I have these killer bangs. That's what she said. Can you believe I cut them myself? You can definitely believe it. Okay, I'm glad the game cleared that up. I cannot believe it. He lied, convincingly. Before you get another word out, you're rudely interrupted when someone smacks your books and custom engraved measuring spoons out of your hand and onto the ground. Hey! Oh god, it's Ashley spelled in that annoying way that you have definitely seen before. It's Ashley, your arch rival. She's totally evil, but you can't help but be filled with jealousy. She can get anything she wants, and she knows it. A heart boob window. I think, is that the technical term? Hello, Ashley. Oh, I didn't see you there, chicken shins. You leave Vasco's shins alone. They're perfectly normal shins. They're not. They're kind of weird, actually. I'll say this. I've lost a lot of weight in the last 4 years. Not for lack of trying. I don't think I look good, but I look better than I used to. But one thing that's definitely true is that in the process of losing all that weight, somehow my body has decided that, like, my legs are all shins now. Which, like, I don't think that's good. I think that's weird. But whatever. There are worse problems to have. I'm currently having them at work, courtesy of the individual known as Negative Dan. Ugh, you can't stand Ashley. Even her name is annoying. You know for a fact it's actually Ashley spelled with an E-Y, but she had to add extra letters to make herself feel better than everyone. If anyone here knows what perfect shins look like, it's us. We're not gonna let you or your really weird insults get to us. Across the quad, you see Ashley's best friend, Van the Man. That's an interesting one. Has stopped to look at his own reflection in the mirror. His pants are so tight you can see him casually working out his glutes while he styles his hair. No lie, they're rockin' glutes. Ahem, Van. You rang. You've never been sure what their arrangement is, but as long as you've known them, Ashley and Van have been just as close as you and Miriam, but substantially more devious. I can't believe that University of Cooking School : Academy for Learning would ever allow people like you to attend as students. This man is a JoJo character. That absolutely. Like, when I first saw this game, I had not seen and knew very little about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, I'm eagerly awaiting whatever the new one that's coming out this year is called. I've already forgotten. It looks sick. Apparently, it's like the best one, and it looks amazing, and it's right up my alley. That being said, this guy is JoJo. He just is. Why are there buttons up the side of his shirt? I mean, clearly we've taken some anime costuming liberties. Like, it's clearly supposed to be like that traditional, like, white chef's attire that, like, buttons up on the one side, but, like, he's also gotta, like, kind of show off his pecs a little bit. He's got side boob going on, but, like, guy side boob. So it doesn't button on to anything, but it's got the aesthetic. That's what we're doing. Mystery likes the look. I respect. I'm not here to complain about it. Is it a little silly? For sure. Is it the style? Is it pretty flash? Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, this game came out in like 2019. There's very little chance that this game was made with any measurable amount of AI assistance. Like, I know what you mean, Cotillion, that you think it feels AI created, but like, I mean, you're familiar with like Final Fantasy. I mean, you're a Final Fantasy fan. Like, look at all the costumes in all of the Final Fantasy games. Like, it's just an anime aesthetic is what we're going for. I know, right? You'd think they'd just hand us our diplomas now. Or maybe hire us on as professors. You amateurs could learn a lot from us. With the first day of school about to start, there's just not time to properly tell these two off, so you resist the urge. Let's go, Miriam. Way less successful than Let's Go, Eevee and Pikachu. See you later, losers! As you approach the door, you see a goofy-looking kid pushing hard against the window directly next to it. What's this guy's whole deal, you think? That's a pass from me, dog. I don't exactly get it. It's not for me. Oopsie. I think it's broken. Reach forward and easily pull the door open. That should do the trick. I love you. Thanks, I hate it. I think you mean thank you. My name is Pop. I was named after my Pop. He's old. This is not a good character. Someone like this also be a student at the school? He must be one heck of a chef. Also, his name tag clearly says Bob, but I guess he's reading it upside down. I get it. I do understand the joke. And there is something funny about that. But I have a really hard time imagining a world in which he had to wait until he had a name tag on and was literate, but like not intelligent enough to correctly understand what was written on his name tag to have comprehended his name. Was he named after his Bob? We can only assume. Also all lowercase. I mean, if to be honest with you, I feel like this man deserves an only lowercase name. He might be minus Bob. Man, wouldn't it be funny if that was the 3-letter name I chose to demonstrate the point? Okay. Hi, Pop. I'm Vasco in all capital letters. Are you, gonna make me hold this door all day? Nope! And with that, the young man walks into the building ahead of me. By the way, why does he breathe ghosts? That's a weird power. Slam the door in his face. Can we fight him?
Understand how being in a bathroom with two strangers
Oh, hang on.
is helping.
Let me get him off the screen. I don't think we should talk about romantic things with Bob around. It makes everyone uncomfortable. Okay, it's fine. We can leave Miriam up. Can I... Hold on a second. Oh, perfect. Let me mute the music so we can properly have our next game of Kiss, Marry, Knife. Ready? Ready to go? Okay. Who redeemed that? That was from Neko. Thank you, Neko. Thank you for spending a funny number of points. Let the second round begin.
Desuhiko Thunderbolt.
Ooh, a bad start. A bad start that I think may have been influenced by the negative energy that Bob has brought into our lives.
Sosajima.
Not also a great choice, if I can be honest with you.
Amame Doi. She works at Sunfish Pocket.
Okay. 1 for 3 is acceptable, I guess. I mean, I marry Amame Doi over a vast majority of names from the generator. So that's easy enough. But I can only knife one of the remaining 2, which is the drama inherent to this round. No, wait, I got it.
One sitting over there is Halara Nightmare.
So hear me out. I think the correct thing to do is you knife Desuhiko, which I don't think will upset anyone. But you specifically kiss Sosajima. But you get someone to take a photo of it, right? And then you blackmail Sosajima for a bunch of money that you and Amame Doi can live off of forever. That's my plan. I feel really good about that. I mean, we were dealt a bad hand. There was a tower and a handsome devil, but I think we got there in the end. On the last round, chat was discussing after the fact, and there was a lot of consideration to knife the dog to save Tama. And, I mean, those aren't my Funyuns. Also, I get canceled for that. I can't believe some of you said that. You're on a list now. Can we have Desuhiko disguised as someone? I mean, as long as you can convince him to do it, and don't think I didn't think of that. But at the end of the day, it's still Desuhiko, and that means he's gonna be a real creep, even if he's pulling a Mystique. So, again, those aren't my Funyuns. Those are for someone else. Okay. Let's get back to resuming the game. Oh God, Miriam says, is it me or is Bob kind of cute? Oh, that's horrible. Just you. No thanks. Yeah, that's just you. You both shrug your shoulders before following him into the building. You stand at the edge of the room, unsure of where to sit. Other students wander in and keep themselves busy chit-chatting. Well, I gotta check something. Did I? Oh, I see. Instead of correctly unmuting something, I muted more things. That's it's resolved. You stand at the edge of the room, unsure where to sit. Other students wander in. A scruffy-looking pooch takes his place at a podium at the front of the class. Adorable. Oh no. The dog's name is Sprinkles, and his name tag is Yellow. For those who don't also frequent my sister's live stream, she frequently initiates her streams with puppets and conversation time, and that usually involves Sprinkles, her yellow puppet, who is in a feud with my sister's favorite Pokemon, Pikachu, for trying to monopolize her signature color of yellow. There are some problems. Also, who's on the wall? I don't know. If anyone can figure that out, I'd be interested to know. I have to say, I'm a little interested in the fact that the map of the US doesn't seem to like highlight Kentucky in particular. That would be kind of a funny thing to do. I feel like non-humanoid companion might be a valid choice for a voice I've become accustomed to doing. Although, no, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I have the patience to try and emulate the splendor that is my sister's puppet's Sprinkles voice. I think that's just gonna blow out my voice in a week where I'm not feeling great. So I'm gonna go with something I know I can do, but I acknowledge that that would be the play if I weren't feeling like dog plot. Now, quiet down, everyone. Who is this unreasonably cute pup, and why is he in our culinary class? I gotta be honest, not like a hideous cartoon dog. I'd almost say that their attempt was to make the dog look handsome, not cute. It feels a little weird. You must be Sprinkles, head instructor of the CEO of UCS:AL. Oh, there we go. That's a cuter face. Please call me Professor Dog. I may be cute and a little fluffy, but I still demand respect. Woof. What? A cute dog is our professor? This is the best school ever. I guess only a dog's nose is capable of picking up all the nuances of fine dining. Dogs do also eat feces. I don't know that correlates like 100%. Out of nowhere, a wind begins to rush around you as a swirl of cherry blossom petals fill the air inside the classroom. Just in case any of you were unclear about that anime influence. I'm chilly. Someone close the window. And then he walks in. You're immediately swept up in the aura of this new student and his remarkable goatee. Who knew anyone could be so handsome? Time stands still. It's him! If it isn't my favorite student, Harlan! Colonel Sanders interrupts Professor Dog before he can finish his sentence. Please call me the Colonel. Colonel Sanders. A hushed murmur rolls through the classroom as Colonel Sanders walks down the aisle of desks. Suddenly, the room is sweltering. His mere presence cooks the chicken. He's got like a Chuck Norris thing going on. Student, the grandpa. Okay, again, Neko. Anime influence. White hair definitely just means you're edgy for some reason. Sweat begins to bead across your brow. You feel like everyone's looking at you and you're not entirely wrong. And this over here must be Sweaty Sweats-a-Lot. Ah, sick burn. She got me really good. Maybe we should open that window back up before Faucet Pits melts into a puddle and evaporates entirely. Oh, I think someone called it out in chat. I did neglect to notice the chicken thigh tights. That's a choice. Is that fashion? Hold on just a second. Nobody talks to my friend like that. I like that Professor Dog has just been on a pedestal in, like, presumably the middle of the room this whole time. You two both know my name. We were in the same kindergarten class. And what is with all your really weird insults? They're not that weird. Also, I definitely smell. I'm definitely a sweatmeister. But it seems weird that, like, we were childhood friends with Miriam, and then, like, the other, like, the villain characters we also went to elementary school with. Are these, like, the only schools that, like, do you just naturally, in whatever region this takes place in, that I assume is Kentucky, but I don't know, do you just go, like, you know, normally we have sort of, like, grade school into middle school into high school. Do they just, like, not have high school and everyone cooks chicken? Is that it? Besides, when Vasco sweats, it's not gross, it's beautiful. Look at that shimmer. I like that this is presented as a choice, but it's not a choice because there's only one choice. This is Kentucky : Japan edition. It's like, I feel like there's a bunch of jokes in the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series about how, like, it's slightly unclear as to whether things take place in the US or Japan, because it's all based on the dub, where they keep it deliberately unclear for some reason. I guess I turned to find Colonel Sanders standing right in front of you. Colonel Sanders, beautiful angel that he is, stands before you, smiling gently, his hand outstretched. Boy howdy, this classroom gets hotter than a Kentucky fryer. Please use my handkerchief. You freeze up. Colonel Sanders is talking to you. It looks like he's actively blowing you a kiss, or maybe just exhaling like chicken scent into your face. Wait, Colonel Sanders is talking to you about how sweaty you look. You're completely mortified. Honestly, I've had dreams like this. This doesn't feel like that unfamiliar of an experience to me. It's set in Kentokyo. Ooh, Neko, you're absolutely correct for that one. That's true. This can't be your first interaction. What if he never forgets this moment? How will you respond? You know what? I think Chad has to weigh in on this. I feel like there's an obvious answer. Can't be Kentucky Fried Chicken if we aren't in Kentucky. It's like champagne. Oh, is that confirmed? Then how come there are so many KFC locations? I mean, Neko was able to go to a KFC in the UK, although granted, it's very clear to me that the menu is different in, at least in the UK, if not just like everywhere other than here. Yeah, I think we gotta take the handkerchief, right? I mean, just to be clear, I don't know if we've met the entire cast by now, but I kind of think we have. Are we trying to romance the Colonel? It feels like the logical thing to do. And also, based on what we've seen so far, he's most likely the least annoying character. KFC has breakfast donuts and no... You don't have biscuits? That's crazy. I mean, I guess technically you have biscuits because you mentioned that they have cookies there, and in the UK they call cookies biscuits. But, like, it's so crazy to me to think of a KFC that doesn't serve KFC biscuits. Take the handkerchief. Eat the skateboard. You stretch out your hand and Colonel Sanders places a fine silk handkerchief in it. It's so beautiful, you hesitate to press it to your face. When you do, the feeling is transcendent. It has his natural scent on it. It smells of the most delicious chicken you've ever smelled. Now hold on just a minute. Does that suggest that Colonel Sanders is in fact a chicken boo? That he wears a disguise to look like human guys, but he's not a man? He's a chicken boo? Also, KFC is huge in Japan. I'm sure I've heard that. I think that's true. I believe that to be true. Professor Dog steps in to settle the class down and set some ground rules. Welcome to University of Cooking School Academy for Learning, the greatest culinary academy in the world! The birthplace of culinary legends past, present, and future. Many challenges await you. There will be tears, there will be fears, there will be blood. There will be blood. There might even be adorable tiny food. And when all is said and done, there will be a battle. You will lift your sporks and compete in the broom cooking arena. What's there's gotta be like a double entendre or a pun I'm missing. Broom cooking? Just then, another student enters the classroom and interrupts the professor's rousing speech. Oh, I'm wrong. There's more characters. What? Could anyone have less features than this? What is this? Hi guys, sorry I'm late. I hope everyone had a good summer. I really miss... Quiet! Late to class is bad enough, but interrupting my monologue? You're on the fast track out of here, young man. Are you sure you're even in the right place? Don't you recognize me? This is my third year in school with you as my teacher. Everyone stares at him blankly. Does no one remember me? You're expelled if you utter one more word before I finish. Let that be a lesson to you students that tardiness is unacceptable. Even Clank made it here on time, rolling halfway across town on his tiny wheels. You turn to see the student Sprinkles is referencing, who appears to be some sort of industrial kitchen appliance. Oh my god. Where? The class bursts into laughter. What? Okay. That might as well be real. No, Clank, you rascal! Sprinkles walks in the classroom as everyone stands in silent obedience. When he gets to you, he lifts his nose in the air and takes a deep sniff. I kind of hate this. I don't want to be a part of this ritual. Date Clank. You put the chicken in the Clank's belly. I mean, I think you do. The question is, like, does that constitute Clank eating? I mean, he's cooking it, right? I don't know. I don't know how this works. Your diet is lacking. Based on what I'm picking up here, you definitely need a multivitamin. You should be taking better care of yourself. Never had a talking dog as a teacher before, but Sprinkles' reputation for being smart is tough. For being smart, but tough, is well known. You decide to try and butter him up by giving him a treat from your pocket. Why do you have two different kinds of meat and a rubber ball in your pocket if you weren't expecting to, like, give a dog a treat today? I mean, it feels like a trap, but I'm inclined to agree that, like, it should be chicken, right? By the way, does this game have saves? Is that a thing? No, just auto saves. All right. No saves coming. Only consequences. But I feel pretty good about chicken despite, like, I walk into this eyes open knowing that this must be a trap. I feel like the rubber ball would be, like, condescending. I mean, maybe this is supposed to be a softball and that, like, he'd get mad about beef because this is a Kentucky Fried Chicken game and the rubber ball is, like, right out. Chicken snack. You reach beneath your apron and return with a chicken snack in your hand. Sprinkle's eyes go wide as he locks onto it. His favorite! Well, I think there might be some competition for a new star student. I mean, honestly, I think that bodes poorly for the class that he's, like, really, really easily bribed in that fashion. The furry professor immediately devours the snack, leaving your hands slick with a coating of warm doggy drool. You see the other students eyeing you jealously, but pay no mind. Wait, did they not come to class with two different types of meat loose in their pocket? That's absurd. If they wanted to succeed in life, they should have learned the importance of carrying a range of dog treat flavors on them at all times. Well, I mean, the game gets it. Settle down, young chefs. Take your seats and prepare to have your minds open to the amazing possibilities of culinary creation. As everyone rushes to claim their favorite seats, you're left standing at the front of the room. Only two options remain. Hey, Vasco, there's still a seat here. It seems no one has claimed this seat next to me if you're interested. I mean, I feel like it's... Colonel... If he's gonna keep being on the right, I feel like I should not be on the right. Give me a second. Gotta find which one of these I have active. Don't question my methods even if they don't make any sense. I don't know if this is... He'll, like, probably immediately jump over. But, like it should be the case that you can see Colonel Sanders. Friends, it's chicken time. Well, listen. So not only is that true, is it true that, like, my friends should understand that I'm abandoning them for Colonel Sanders. I think they know what's up. But also, I have to assume that, like, if there's 2 seats left, the other remaining seat has to be Bob, right? And for some reason, like, Miriam is into Bob, so, like, this is a win-win. Because, like, Bob will go sit with her, and they'll have the worst relationship I can imagine. Pretty sure they used Ross Bryant as a model for this colonel. I could believe it. You move to take your seat by Colonel Sanders. It appears he brought no books, pens, or pencils. However, his perfect upright posture shows off a seriousness that makes you confident in his desire to learn. Why is Colonel Sanders hot in this? I mean, I gave you the rundown of, like, this was a weird period in KFC history where it was desperately trying to rebrand itself. But I think also a big part of it is, like, I think that the whole existence of this game is a really, like, naked marketing ploy. And if they were going to make a dating sim where you date Colonel Sanders, obviously he had to be hot. Thanks for offering me this seat. I've only had 2 rules. Do all you can and do the best you can. It's the only way you'll ever get that feeling of accomplishing something. That's so inspiring. A little off topic if you ask me, but okay. As soon as you've settled into your seat, the professor makes an announcement. Big Fest! It's time for a pop quiz, hotshot! Yay, a quiz about me. This incredibly important and surprisingly short quiz will tell me if you're ready for life at culinary school. Keep your knives sharp and your focus sharper. Here comes question number 1. But it's mean? Wait, explain how it's mean for Colonel Sanders to be hot, Miss Dream. Also, you don't mean to tell me that you never saw that, like, 15-minute movie where Mario Lopez was also, like, sexy Colonel Sanders. The Steam guides for this game are deeply concerning. I don't know what to make of that statement. Okay, hold on. If trade A is traveling to point B and trade B is traveling to point A, how important is it to wash your hands before cooking? I mean, this is not close. For one, it's for sure important. It's clearly definitely important. For 2, dunking on Pop is a great bonus. Like, I can see no objective reason to choose anything other than the middle option unless I was deliberately trying to, like, replay this game for a specific bad ending or something. If you value your sanity and mood, don't go there. Well, for 1, I wasn't planning on it. For 2, I'm very concerned. It says, like, 5 endings. That tracks. Like, off the top of my head, like, I don't know about those, like, 2 students who just joined. Maybe they're romanceable. I genuinely have no idea. But, like all 3 of the first people we met seem romanceable. And then it could be, like, Pop and Colonel Sanders. Maybe Colonel Sanders is, like, a red herring and you can't actually date him because he's too important. I don't know. Dog named Sprinkles, who is also your teacher. True, the dog could be. The thing is, like, I don't know. But, like, presumably 5 different romanceable characters, 5 different endings, whatever. Anything else I need to be caught up on, or is this dog mostly it? I don't know how much you got. We're at Kentucky Fried Chicken's, like, fried chicken anime cooking academy. Our class consists of hot young Colonel Sanders, a sentient, like, fry cooking machine, a weird, forgettable ghost human, 2 bullies, our friend, a real creepazoid, and then, like, assorted, not appearing on screen characters, I think. And our teacher is a dog, yes. So, yes, it is extremely important to wash hands. That's right. Forest is to tree as chicken is to, like, leg? I guess feather. It's not like a great analogy, but it's like whole to part. So, like, probably feather. I don't know what these other options are. Colonel Sanders is too hot. You're crashing out over hot Colonel Sanders. Why is it a problem? Like, explain why it's problematic, Mystery. I don't understand. Is it somehow, like, fundamentally important to you that Colonel Sanders be, like, old? I'm gonna say feather. That's right. Okay. What is the most efficient eating utensil ever created? Oh, it's spork. It's spork. Not only is it spork because obviously it's spork because it's a spoon and a fork, but also I think even it's been a minute actually since I've gotten from KFC because the local KFC is really not good about getting orders right. But traditionally for a long time, probably at least leading up to this game, spork was like the thing they would give you with like anything that would require utensil, which is kind of majestic in its own way. What food is best for a broken heart? One of the options is camel meat, which I don't feel great about. Pancake that looks like a silly face. Anything as long as it's prepared with love and not too much salt. This is a tough one. It's not camel meat. I think camel meat is what you get for beating Leshy's inscription. I mean, pancake that looks like a silly face is like extremely good. I think the correct answer is supposed to be the top one because it's a culinary school and I think we're supposed to be open-minded to all types of cuisine, but like I feel like it's pancake with a silly face on it. Don't tell me you're gonna crash out about camel meat, Mystery. Although that one I fully 100% get. That one I'm on board with. Here's a question. Do you think that being a know-it-all would impress Colonel Sanders? Do you think Colonel Sanders has his own version of Shania Twain's that don't impress me much? Oh, that's an interesting argument, Neko. Neko says that pancake with a silly face is already clearly made with love. So you're suggesting that one is a best fit that encompasses 3, which I do agree with. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue that logic. But to be clear, this would be a good... I mean, Pancake Day is coming up, so, like, I could go for that. That's right, Sprinkle's a good boy. Yes, no, he's a talking dog that teaches at culinary school. He is the best boy. Well, for one, again, you get canceled on the internet for saying anything about a dog other than it being the best boy or girl. But for 2, we also know that this dog is like extremely vain, living up to the Sprinkles moniker. So like, I feel like he would go for them. That's right. Your total score is 5 out of 5. Wow, be honest, did you cheat? You look up to see that Colonel Sanders has been watching you tally your score. He's impressed. Yes! I did it! I know we just met, but I have to confess, I think you have a beautiful brain. That's Not what I thought Colonel Sanders would be into. Hot diggity, Vasco, you just scored some major Colonel Sanders points with that performance. May I have your attention, students? I have an important announcement to make. Time for lunch! Wow, the cafeteria is as nice as any restaurant you've ever eaten at. It makes sense that a school dedicated to cooking would also be serious about eating. I'm covering the banner because I've moved to try and free up screen real estate for Colonel Sanders. This is the Stewart Cafeteria, established 2015. What a delightful little song. A delicious fragrance wafts through the room and tickles the end of your nose. Your mouth waters. By the way, can we actually take a second to appreciate, like, this is obviously a farce. This whole thing is ridiculous, and it is a marketing ploy. But, like, they clearly put, like, some real effort into this game. Do you smell that? That must be our lunch. It smells crazy good. Everyone, can I have your attention? Is it about lunch? No, I just wanted to apologize for my tardiness. You see, Howdy, folks. I'd like to make an announcement. Hey, It's about lunch. Everyone cheers. But Shh. Lunch. She said shh. In honor of our new semester, I have prepared something special to share with everyone for lunch. That must be the smell I smell. The smelly smell of something that smells fishy. Indeed, that smell. You'll hold your breath, waiting to see what food this mysterious student has created. You've heard he's very talented, but were the rumors true? Squirtle is hot. Everyone's really struggling to deal. Okay, serious question. Like, it seems like multiple people in chat at least knew that this game existed before we started playing it. Like, even with, like, a vague allusion in the title before I, like, changed over to, like, starting the game and, like, changing the title. Like, people were sort of like, wait, is this the KFC dating simulator? So knowing that there was a KFC dating simulator, like, what did you think Colonel Sanders would look like? Did you not think he would be the most obviously appealing character? Anyway, what did he make? He is this. Colonel Sanders lifts a large bucket above his head. Its contents glimmer in the light. Piled high are huge pieces of chicken breaded and fried to a crispy golden finish. The aroma envelops you, and you begin to feel warm and safe. Oh my god, the chicken is enchanted. It's only vaguely familiar with the fact that it exists. But, like, even if you know the concept, like, do you not think that, like, hot Colonel Sanders is dateable? I don't know, it just doesn't seem that weird to... Like, the concept of the game seems extremely weird, don't get me wrong. But, like, accepting as the baseline that this game exists, I feel like it's not that much of a stretch to be like, and then Colonel Sanders is hot, right? Is that a problem? It's not, but it should be. Oh, that's a problem. Having some mild computer tower troubles with it being in the way of where I want to exist. Everything okay? Once he dropped frames, the monitor stopped acting weird and nothing fell over. Long term. It's just chicken pornography? I mean, it's not... It appears to be safe for work. This game doesn't give any warnings. I will say that 5 Hearts Under One Roof is, like, rated NSFW, but, like, my understanding is it's not one of those, like, actual, like, horny games that exist on Steam. If you, like, look up anything, it's like, did you just want porn instead? I've seen someone play through the second one. Nothing especially scandalous happened in it. So, like, I think we're gonna be fine, but, like, it's just a big shitily weird cap. But that's tomorrow's problem. Yeah, that's kind of how I think of it, Zachula. Like, 5 Hearts Under One Roof is probably, like, safe for work, but, like, at the edge. Like, there's like, almost definitely, like, gonna be, like, people in bathing suits, which, like, you probably don't want to be watching that when your boss comes over to your cubicle, but, like, it's not extremely graphic. Anyway, magic chicken. Colonel Sanders has filled a bucket with chicken? What a novel concept. Okay, KFC consumed, job complete game. But Cotillion, we must still find love. 5 chickens, 1 heart under 1 roof. What are we doing? Your stomach begins to grumble as if to say, stop thinking and start eating! For years, I've been developing a secret recipe for the perfect fried chicken. By my calculation, nothing less than 11 herbs and spices are required to achieve the perfect balance of flavors. You look around and notice that every other student has a pen and paper and is scribbling notes as fast as they can. But that's all I'll say about that. What, you think we want your stupid secret recipe, dude? Pshaw! Nah, my dude, nah. I'm just drafting a last will and testament in case, one of those ingredients is, poison. Got him. Yeah, if you missed it before, this guy he's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He's just JoJo's. He looks around nervously to see if anyone else is laughing at his sick burn. You wait to see what singer Ashley is prepared to follow up, but she suddenly takes a different approach. Yeah, and I was just writing in my diary. Dear diary, today I smelled something beautiful. I knew at that moment that only the hands of a true gentleman could fry chicken so tender. Dang. No, wait, that wasn't a burn at all. She's got the hots for him. You see your body language change from...
I don't understand how being in a bathroom with 2 strangers is helping.
Okay,
but
hang
I'm
on.
eager to learn.
Let me put that mute on mute. Zoop. It's been apparently another 35 minutes, which if you're wondering why it's 35 minutes, I forget if I explicitly mentioned this earlier, but if you add 35 together twice, it rounds as close as you can get with 2 redemptions to taking place in the funny number of minutes. Aren't you glad that you know that? That it's really important that I thought this through. So the redemption of the weekend is someone hits that button for a funny number of points. And then we deal out 3 names from the random name generator. And we have to kiss, marry, knife. Let's get ready to do it. Number 1.
Everyone's beloved dog astronaut.
It's problematic.
Space Wolf.
I'll actually let chat make the call on whether we want, like, repeats at all. But Space Wolf's a rough one because it feels like...
Fantastic fighting DT man.
It feels like it limits what you can do with it. No repeats. I'll ask you a follow-up question. I mean, my intention was to deal out 3 for free. No, I mean, I feel like that's the spirit. I feel like it overly complicates things to just let people add. I'm just taking charge. So, ignoring Space Wolf.
Shavul, who was a mole man.
Shavul, who was a mole man. Okay, that's a baseline.
Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt, also a mole man by the reasoning of Sam and Max. That is literally from, like, the same dialogue.
The fantastic fighting DT man.
And then the fantastic fighting DT man. Now that's interesting. I feel like... I feel like you marry Patton Oswalt, right? Like, he's got a good sense of humor. He seems like he's... you know, like, I know a little bit about his, like, tragic backstory. So, like, he seems like a really caring guy. So I feel like he's the marrying kind. I feel like you kiss the fashionable DT man. Was it fashionable we got this time? I can never remember. He's so many things. But, like, yeah, I mean, he's got that swagger. I think you kiss him, and then I guess by default you just knife Shavul, who was a mole man. I don't know if any part of that is particularly controversial. I feel like that's like almost too easy. But let me know in chat if you have different feelings about that. And I will keep in mind we want the no duplicates rule. I mean, we can reevaluate tomorrow if we like any that popped up today enough to just shuffle them in. It starts to become a little harder to remember everything that's come up. I feel like we await the next redemption eagerly. And the game resumes. So, as we last left off, our rival Ashley also has the hots for hot Colonel Sanders. You see her body language change from bitter and evil to sweet and innocent as she slides closer to Colonel Sanders. She realizes that he is destined for greatness and fame with cooking skills like this. She wants him all to herself. Oh, please. Well, Van the man, if you don't want any, I'll take his. Whoa, hold on. I mean, I guess I'll try it. He takes one bite and his eyes grow wide. He starts contorting his face as he tries to hold in his pure exhilaration and act unimpressed. Easy now, there's enough for everyone. Please, my fellow classmates, dig in. You take one of the pieces of fried chicken out of this bucket and sink your teeth into it. It's amazing. Tasting Colonel Sanders' food transports you to another dimension. Okay, so the only, I don't actually remember what choices caused this, but the thing I remember about the playthrough I saw of this is that you can get a game over after eating Colonel Sanders' chicken. I think if you basically just let it, take over your senses, you just, disconnect from reality and die. Alone with your taste buds gripping a drumstick in your hand, you float weightlessly. Our options are focus your mind and meditate on this moment to try and identify every flavor. Savor the moment and everything that it tells you about Colonel Sanders' culinary heart. What a surprisingly anime thing to say. Or swim toward the light. I think if you swim toward the light and then just double down on it a couple of times, then it's just sort of all right, you cease to exist. The chicken was so good, you just disapparate. I'm going to savor the moment and learn about Colonel Sanders' culinary heart. The flavors in your mouth are beautiful, pure, heavenly. What a guy. Alone with the flavors, you feel something that can only be described as love. For a man? For a flavor? Are they the same? After tasting his food, you try to get some one-on-one time with Colonel Sanders. This could be a cutscene. Maybe if I did something different in the hallucination, I could have a different reaction. I don't know. But, it's weird that there have been multiple times where it, gives me a choice when there's none choice. You approach Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders smiles ever so softly as you approach. He stops what he's doing and allows you to break the silence. Colonel, I wondered if I could talk to you for a second. Anything for a fellow chef. What exactly was on that chicken? It's kind of a weird way of asking that, I feel. Colonel Sanders gasped. How bold of you to come out and ask. It's an idea I had for a new combination of flavors that'll make me a fortune and establish my legacy for all time as I open a chain of highly successful fried chicken restaurants. No big deal. He has a chicken staff? I think he can use that to summon the Ultra Mega Chicken. It's just you and me talking here. I could keep a secret. In fact, I've got some of my own I'd be willing to trade. Mine are mostly about pancakes. What's the rush? The semester's only getting started. We've got 2 more whole days to get to know each other. He's clearly not going to give it up easily. Oh, ladies. Getting hot in here, or is it just the chicken? Okay. But it doesn't hurt to be persistent. You know what they say about secrets, Colonel. Shouldn't learning be fun? You got moxie, I'll give you that. Colonel Sanders looks both ways. Looks both ways? What, is he going to cross the street? To make sure you're truly alone, then leans in. You can feel his warm chicken breath as he whispers. Just one ingredient, but you can't tell. I use... It's something my great-grandmother taught me. If I could... Does that spoiler text? Does it? Okay, it's just gone. Wow. I would never have guessed that. In fact, you're not even sure where you'd get some if you searched. While you're wrapped up in that huge revelation, you notice that Colonel Sanders has disappeared, probably through actual magic. While everyone else is still in the cafeteria, you decide to look for him. You find Colonel Sanders outside, standing in the quad. Why is this one song so much louder than the others? Like, I think it's still, like, in fine parameters, but, like, it's a little too loud. Oh, it's you again. Howdy. Sometimes I like to come outside and look at the school buildings. Think about how my story will continue after I've graduated. Sounds like you have big plans, which my brain somehow subconsciously read as pants. Which would be a funny thing to say about someone, whether or not you are romantically attracted to them. Sounds like you have big pants. I dare say the biggest. I'll leave my mark on this world, you can bet on that. Alone together for the first time, you figure now is the perfect moment to show your personality to him. Neg him to show him your own strength. Wow him with a big idea, to add an additional ingredient to really spice things up. Be modest, but thoughtful. So, normally I think I'd say big idea is kind of his scene. But I think if I tried to, like, one-up his life's work, he'd probably respond negatively. So, like, I think modest but thoughtful brings you close to the idea of showing him your sexy brain so that he, like, eats you like a zombie. But, like, doesn't insult him. Also, hello, Arcadius. Welcome to the stream. In case you somehow missed it from the title, we're playing the KFC dating simulator. What do you call it when KFC, Popeyes, and Chick-fil-A agree to stop fighting? A 3-piece Waka Waka. I'm gonna go modest but thoughtful and hope that this song stops being so loud soon. Well, I just wanted to tell you that I really enjoyed your food. Now you've got his attention. The flavors were complex but comforting. The interplay between salty, savory, and peppery was perfect. I appreciate the compliment, Vasco. I'm sure you'll be a big success. I know we've only met today, but I'm starting to get the same feeling about you. We should head back inside. The next lesson starts soon. Oh, thank God, the song is over. I don't know, do we need to turn the music down a little bit, or are we good? What do you think? Nicholas says, I know I've been missing a lot because of work. Is the conceit here that KFC does not exist and Colonel is currently honing his chicken skills? Yeah, more or less. It's his origin story. Those were all the rage in the mid-20-teens. It's a fine a little bit. I'll take a little bit. I'm on the fence anyway. Let's turn it down like a little. Let's turn it down to like the same volume we have the sound effects at. If we turn it down like a little bit, we're probably like still in a fine-ish range, but maybe the loud ones aren't so bad. I'll leave it at this for now. We'll see. By the way, as someone called out, it was strongly implied earlier that the whole semester is like 3 days. Whoever said that this game would be like 2 hours tops, which seems to be everyone, clearly doesn't stream. Okay. You step into the massive cooking arena, where the afternoon lesson will take place. Each student gets an oven and all the tools and ingredients they could need. Look at this place, it's magnificent. Finally, we get to show our stuff. Wait a second, oh no, we have to show our stuff. What if I totally blow it? Well, it's a dating sim, so it's actually fine. Although I'm not sure what blowing on that will achieve. You're not going to blow anything, except maybe kisses to the crowd of fans you're going to earn with your signature adorable tiny food creations. Like a
Not
tiny...
sure what blowing on that will achieve.
Like a tiny pancake with a face on it? Welcome, students, to the cooking arena! For those just joining us, the teacher's a dog. It talks. Deal with it. For today's lesson, we'll be cooking with partners. Hurry up and pair off! Naturally, Miriam looks over at you, but unable to control yourself, you pounce on Colonel Sanders. Yeah, but what do we do about partners for the activity, if you know what I'm saying? Hey, Colonel, would you like to tackle this lesson as a team? A team of 2, that is. Me and you, the poison that was chosen specifically for Cuzco? Want to be my partner? Why, sure, Vasco. I'll prepare our station. Without you as a partner, Miriam is standing all alone. Two different students quickly take notice. Hello, new partner. Beep boop. Beep. Oh my, two potential partners. I'm so sorry, gentlemen, but I don't know who to choose. It looks like you'll have to pick for her. Friend duties can be a little awkward, but that's the price you pay for not being alone forever. Who do you want to ask to be Miriam's partner? So, like, I mean, Clank is superior to Pop, but she's crushing on Pop. Is it better for her to get that out of her system and, like, learn how garbage he is? Nah, Chad just wants Clank. Alright, that's fine. No, hold on. Resurgence. If we hate her, then Pop. Well, okay, sometimes people have to make their own mistakes. Even if we know better, trying to control other people's lives doesn't necessarily go well. Although I really think the majority of chat is here for Clank. And at the rate we're going, I doubt we're getting a second playthrough. So, as Neko puts it, I need to see more of Clank and less of Pop. Sorry, Pop, but I think Miriam will be partnering with Clank today. It's okay. I already ate. He's so bad. He's so obviously bad. It's not entirely clear if Pop has any idea what the point of school even is at this juncture. Clank is clearly excited to have some attention. He heats up and begins to roll back and forth. Alright, that's cool, I guess. So weird. Hold on there, fella. We don't even know the assignment yet. Technically, Clank might not have a face, but there's something charming and earnest about. I mean, his face is, it's like right here. He's got a dial for an eye and a gauge for an eye and like a nonogram for a mouth. Clank should only do that in private. For some reason, like the sound effects and like the weird implication of the mechanical movement makes me think of the thing in the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared TV show when they like work at that office building and like at lunch one of them tries to get lasagna out of this vending machine and it all just comes out as goo. And then like the machine that dispenses it is like, too much lasagna, please return the excess. And it's like, how would I, in what way would I just like take some of this gross lasagna goo and like put it back in the machine? Tissue? I hardly know you. Clank judders and a panel shakes loose. You get the impression that this is a sign of affection. Or maybe he needs walkies, I don't know. Looks like you two will be fine. Now it's time to focus on your own cooking classwork. Alright, you two, for today's lesson, we're going to keep it simple. Pick a basic dish and divide up the steps. No chef is an island. It takes two flints to make a fire. You get the idea. I don't think people say that. I don't think that's anything. Which dish do you suggest to your partner, Colonel Sanders? Steak tartare seems easy enough. It's fancy and you don't even need to cook it. Octopus will blow Colonel Sanders' mind. Your grandmother's mashed potatoes and gravy. I mean, two of those I don't particularly... I feel like there's so many reasons I feel like it's mashed potatoes and gravy. I feel like this game has demonstrated that in no way does this game want to trick you. I think it's always like the most obvious choices. Like, this is a game that revels in just presenting you the option and giving you the outcome you want. Yes, Zakula puts it, they're literally spoon-feeding it to you. Yes, and by it, you mean mashed potatoes and gravy. Like, you could probably get some interesting outcomes, but I'm here to marry hot Colonel Sanders and see if Mystery survives the stream. Octopus with fried chicken sounds great to you. Octopus just does not seem like a thing that I want to eat. I'm certain by the nature of seafood that I have no obvious reason to suspect that I would be allergic to that the same way I am to some type of fish. At the same time, I just don't want to. I don't want to. I'm gonna say mashed potatoes and gravy. I've always been something of a down-home chef. I was thinking we could make something warm, inviting, comforting, and at the same time we might cook a hot meal. Maybe mashed potatoes and gravy? Couldn't imagine one without the other. I can. I'll be honest, I'm not a big gravy guy. I think I've talked about this on stream. I like white gravy, which I think is supposed to be like extremely bad for you, but that tracks. I don't really like other kinds of gravy that I've had. Colonel Sanders casts a coy look at you, causing your whole face to go beet red. Embarrassed, you quickly turn away. I'll go get the potatoes. No, please, let me. Picking perfect produce is a passion of mine. Looks like things are getting pretty fresh around here. Does someone have a crush on Colonel Sanders? We're just cooking partners. Parentheses ambiguous. Mind your own business, Ashley. Sanders' heart is my business, and you better keep your fingers off my man. Well, I will as soon as I'm done with him, because then it's time to do the finger licking. Is that too far? I don't know. Did someone call for me? No, jeez, Van. While I'm over here crushing Vasco's dreams, you're supposed to be taking care of our classwork. That was the deal, remember? Colonel Sanders returns, arms full of peeled potatoes. He tosses them into boiling water and turns his attention to you and your old friends. Howdy there, Ashley, Van. We work in a quartet instead of a duet now? Actually, no. It looked like Vasco was struggling, so we offered to give him a hand. You know how it is. These young amateur chefs need a lot of mentoring. Why is it so loud? I already turned it down. I was gonna say, Colonel Sanders, maybe I could teach you a thing or two about fancy food. Maybe one day you might be able to get up to my level. Ha! Doubt it. Don't be rude, Van. Personally, I have no doubts whatsoever about Colonel Sanders' ability to concoct creations worthy of admiration. After all, your fried chicken was quite spectacular. But Colonel, if you ask me, I might make a better partner for you than this thing that has positioned itself at your station. Don't you feel deep down that we cast complementary shadows? That we fit together? Like a thigh and drumstick? It just makes sense. Nothing about this makes any sense, but one thing is clear. She's coming for the Colonel if you don't watch out. Ashley is really going at it hard. You need to ask for some backup here before things get ugly. I would agree, this music is literally bad. I'm just gonna cut it in half. It's pissing me off. She is a thigh. That's a fair way to put it. Like, even if that music was appropriately volumed, it seems much too intense for the situation and also just isn't pleasant to listen to. Okay, I have to make a choice. Turn to Colonel Sanders, hunk of hunks in your time of need. Or turn to Miriam, your forever bestie, who always has your back. I mean, again, I think this game is as front door as a dating sim. This honestly might, like, this may sound insane to say, although I don't think anyone here is such a purist of the dating sim genre that they would take offense to this. I'm starting to think that, like, I Love You, Colonel Sanders is, like, the perfect introductory dating sim. It's really short. It's, like, really obvious what the good and bad choices are. It seems, like, really easy to romance the character you want. Like, it's just a really good way to, like, showcase what the genre be doing. Also, it has the benefit of having sexy Colonel Sanders in it, which clearly everyone loves. So, yeah, like, obviously I'm going to turn to Colonel Sanders, who is the hunk of hunks, because I love him and his chicken, and I need his recipe for mucho dinero. I'm here to learn and to express myself via my cuisine, not bicker with prima donnas. Partners were chosen at the beginning of class, so let's all respect the format, okay? Oh, my character's even a lawful good dork. You turn to Colonel Sanders to confirm that you're on the same page. I choose Colonel Sanders, throws the Pokeball. And Colonel Sanders chose me, isn't that right? A businessman respects all fair agreements from contracts to handshake. Dude, tell the radio stations that, Colonel Sanders. I could use your back, hunk of hunks. I took Vasco on as my partner for this activity, and I stand by it. Based on your team's behavior, I'd say you're perfect for each other. Neither of you has Vasco's natural talent or their loyalty. It's actually really interesting. I feel like this game is like way ahead of its time in using like gender neutral pronouns for like acknowledging the protagonist. It's an interesting choice, and it was like an especially strong choice at the time, I think. Mystery asks, would it be weird to reveal a psychic drew me a soulmate drawing of someone that looks like Hot Sanders? Nah, but I think there's some kind of sign that the video game will teach you a lesson that will bring you to your soulmate. I think that's the only real takeaway. Nico says, I get the sense we don't have choices in this game, though. We can fail, but we just automatically love the KFC man. I don't know. That could be true. Like, I'm naturally making the assumption that because there are... Like, it seems to me like at least it's probably possible to, like, date your, like, childhood sweetheart. I don't know about the others for sure, but, like... It seems like there's some agency. Not a lot, but, like, again, I think it's like an intro to dating sims. This seems reasonable. Being vetted by Colonel Sanders leaves you feeling proud and full of potential. You look for Sprinkles in hopes that he might step in, but he's nowhere to be found. Darn those cute corgis and their short but sturdy stature. Look down at your station and realize that in the tension of the moment, your hands have been cooking on autopilot. Distracted by the drama, you've already crushed the boiled potatoes into a perfectly creamy mashed texture, with plenty of butter and cream for flavor. It's as if your natural passion guided you through the steps you know so well, while your attention was elsewhere. I know just what to do. Colonel Sanders extends his hand. He's holding a beautiful white porcelain gravy boat, out of which pours a smooth brown gravy, smothering your nearly finished potato dish. Gravy flows down the mound of mashed potatoes. The results look spectacular. Granny would be very proud. Mister, do you need me to make the webcam visible so you can get a screenshot of this for like your profile picture on Discord or something? Just like real quick. Just like, there you go. There he is. Love to see it. This game is really weird. If you click anything else, the game completely disappears, but the audio keeps going. It's really interesting. Wait, what does that mean? It says, don't worry, I sent her a present already. I wasn't worried until you said that. Now I'm a little worried. I don't think I should be, but I am anyway. Colonel Sanders holds a sport couch. This game is great. I don't know. I honestly have no idea if you can even still get this game. When it came out, I just got it because I knew I would need it someday, and it cost $0 to my recollection. I don't think I would have downloaded it if it didn't cost $0. Colonel Sanders holds out his fork to you. You reach out and grab hold of it, but he doesn't immediately let go. The two of you stand holding the same spork, and for that small moment, all of the madness and pressure of this crazy world stops. Hold on, let me boost the music back up. Only like a little bit, because the game hasn't earned my trust back. That's actually still a little loud. Surprisingly, Steam does let me look at the store page, which is enough proof that Hot Sanders will never take his shirt off. I will see. Your eyes locked. The moment is electric. Time stands still. If you love something, set it free. Together, you dig the utensil into the mashed potatoes and lift a heaping sporkful up till you see Ashley with a sinister look. You know she's plotting against you to be with Colonel Sanders. And then, filled with rage and without thinking, you fling the sporkful of mashed potatoes right into Ashley's stupid, beautiful face. Van, do something! Scooping up a fingerful, Van tastes the dripping mashed potatoes and gravy and realizes it's delicious. Horrified by this revelation, he slinks away. Will he ever be able to cook something with so much love and integrity? I'm already turning the music back down. It's not as bad as before, but like it's just not a good song. Hold on right there, Vasco. We do not waste food in the broom cooking area. Colonel Sanders, I expect better from you. If you throw one more spoonful, you both better be prepared to eat it from wherever it lands. Oh no, where is it gonna land? Something weird's about to happen. Can I has potatoes face? He's just the worst. I don't know why he's here at all. Van rushes back over, a covered dish in his hand. Mashed potatoes with gravy? Pathetic. In just a few minutes, I've prepared a full meal. Gaze upon my specialty, braised tentacle of octopus in my silky saltwater sauce. That sounds bad. Plated on a battle axe forged by my supreme chef ancestors. That was a sound effect. You've ignored me for too long. It ends now. It is I who will have the first bite, and you will all look on in envy. The interrupting student rushes at Van and swipes a bite of his signature dish right off the plate. No, don't! Something about this dish doesn't strike my nose quite right. I think the octopus was rushed and may have turned in the process. The results could be toxic. It's too late. It has been eaten. I think I left something in the oven. I don't feel so good. It killed him! Everyone, step back. Don't take another bite! When you look back at the plate, the rest of it is gone. You notice the tip of the tentacle being slipped up in Pop's mouth. Best ending already! Pop winces in pain for just a moment, then is almost immediately back to his oblivious self. Oopsie. Tastes like poison. The entire class is gathered to watch Pop's final moments. Shock has frozen the whole crowd. They're motionless as statues. The class bell rings, disrupting the moment and snapping everyone back to reality. It would appear that Pop's enthusiasm for trying new things, despite obvious danger, has inoculated him against poisons of all kinds. Like a dwarf or something? I'm not sure the professors here make enough money. Ghost of student. Hello? I just turned into a ghost over here. Seeing that you're shaken up by that really annoying student and all his nonsense, Colonel Sanders approaches you. I'm sorry I had to go through that. Please let me walk you home. What? Like for real? Oh, come on. You follow Colonel Sanders out of the room. At night, the school building has taken on another vibe entirely. It's dark and more than a little spooky. Who's the baby man freak weirdo? I assume you're talking about Pop. He's the worst. We've already tried killing him and failed. Colonel Sanders stands in the quad's neon glow and speaks softly. Those mashed potatoes you made in class today. Before you go on, I want you to know, they're not a great representation of my skills. I didn't even realize I was making them. They were amazing. Tasting them, it reminded me of why I became so passionate about food to begin with. Colonel Sanders is getting choked up. Not on a chicken bone, just like emotion. Cooking is obviously important to him in a way that you find inspiring. Now might be the perfect time to tell him you're developing feelings for him. Colonel Sanders? Yes, Vasco? There's something I need to tell you. Hold it right there. There's something I need to tell you first. Geez. You see, when I was a boy, I had a dream that one day I'd be the greatest chef the world has ever seen. And every day since, I've been working toward that dream, day and night, never stopping, never resting. Also lifting like a lot of weights, like so many weights. We should follow our dreams with all our hearts, that our souls may grant them like wishes floating on a shooting star. Zacchaeus says, please be careful with the phrase choked up while playing a dating sim. Well, I mean, there's a lot of cooking. I mean, that the guy ate like a whole tentacle. I think that if that guy didn't choke on that tentacle, there's no risk of choking in this game, right? Nothing weird about that, right, Zacchaeus? Hey, no, shut up. I'm the one trying to say inspirational stuff and be the star of the story. Are we forgetting that your cooking literally killed a guy? You can't prove that. I also saw you kill that guy. What was his name? There's something extremely funny to me about Just hot Colonel Sanders just saying, I also saw you kill that guy. Somewhere in the distance, you hear a long, sad sigh. Forget him. We're talking about me. Me. So far, I'm the hero. You know, this game's thrown a number of curveballs, and that one really caught me off guard somehow. Mystery. This is, I'm so hyped for tomorrow, genuinely considering taking a sick day. So you can be sure to catch all the glory of 5 hearts under one roof. I don't know how long the first one is. The second one, like, I feel like was maybe like 7-8 hours or something, tops. Like, I think it's like feasible that if chat wanted to, we could like at least finish a full playthrough like pretty easily. Anyway, the Spork Monster. The Spork Monster is here to fight a hero. I think I left the fridge door open. Later, nerds. How dare you threaten me just as I was letting down my guard and connecting with another chef on an emotional level. Be afraid! Be very afraid of me, because I am a monster, see? Is he rhyming on purpose, or is that like a coincidence? Before we can discuss syntax any further, it's a turn-based fight sequence. What will you do? Who's the giant himbo? Colonel Sanders. I know you've been here long enough to know that, Zacula. Also, your Discord has been taken over by Hot Sanders. I have no problem. You think I have a problem with that? No one asked me to play this game.
I do not understand how being in a bathroom with 2 strangers is helping, but
Hang
I'm eager
on.
to learn.
This seems like the perfect, what a amazing cliffhanger for another round of kiss, marry, knife. I didn't think through the order. All right, let's see what hand we're dealt. 3 individuals. 1 we will kiss, 1 we will marry, and 1 we will knife.
The Internet Wizard!
Oh, that's a spicy pick. The Internet Wizard.
Mary Tyler Moore.
Mary Tyler Moore. Now that's a classy gal.
Shavul, who was a mole man.
We've said no dupes in the same stream, so
Warren Burroughs, Prime Minister of the Mole People.
yet another mole person. So that's we got the Internet Wizard, we got Mary Tyler Moore, and we have Warren Burroughs, Prime Minister of the Mole People. I mean, you gotta marry Mary Tyler Moore. I mean, she is one among many of America's sweethearts. The other 2 are a little trickier. I mean, Mary Tyler Moore. It is right in the name, Sarah. You're not wrong. I mean, I don't strongly feel like I need to knife either of the other 2, but I'll say this: I feel like my instinct says to kiss the Internet Wizard. I mean, he's a charmer, right? I feel like knifing the Prime Minister of the Mole People could get you in some real trouble. I mean, I don't know if we're just like saying consequences be darned. I mean, that may well be the case for the conceit of this effort. But what if by killing the Internet Wizard you gain his powers? Like, what if it's some weird thing like that?
Did
So,
someone
like,
say birthday?
I'm kind of thinking, well, let me ponder it over while I play this birthday song. Yeah, I think it's like knife the Internet Wizard and hope to either obtain his powers or at least like loot the body for like sick magical items. And then kiss the Prime Minister of the Mole People and marry Mary Tyler Moore. I think Mary Tyler Moore is a safe long-term commitment. I mean, if you want power, like maybe you marry. I guess if you really wanted, you could marry either of the other 2. But like, I for one think it's an easy marry Mary Tyler Moore, and then the other 2 are a little bit trickier for me. But I stand by that. Knife the Internet Wizard. Hope to gain some power.
That is Mama, of course.
I'm sure glad I didn't randomize that one. There aren't enough knives. All right, so that's all the TV there is. When did the game become this? Which part of this? The ridiculous channel point redemption that's been going on sporadically throughout the stream, or the turn-based combat where we're fighting a spork monster made of mashed potatoes? Because I believe the answer to both of those questions is at exactly the perfect time. So now we're in a turn-based combat segment. We don't have the powers of the Internet Wizard. I think I'm gonna attack. You decide to go on the attack. Which attack will you use? I guess I'll use Cook with Love. Does 1 damage. It just got real. That attack really upsets Spork Monster. Spork Monster goes on the attack. They spit hot gravy at you. You take 1 damage. I don't know. In the absence of all other knowledge, like, I feel like this is just, like, your introductory Pokemon battle rules, where you just attack and you don't worry about status effect. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely inspired by the Final Fantasy menus. So I think I just attack again. It worked last time, right? Cook with Love. Spork Monster won't forget this. Oh no, now it's a Telltale game. Spork Monster is feeling really threatened by your attack. It focuses their mashed mind and draws in energy from Mother Earth itself. They grow larger and more intimidating. How will you respond? I'm gonna assume that is like the tutorial to... Isn't it Final Fantasy VII with the weird scorpion boss? That, like, try to introduce you to, like, certain enemies having, like, combat tells that, like, mostly doesn't come up for the rest of the game. But, like, the fact that he just, like, is powering up an attack makes me think defend might be more appropriate. Which defense will you use? Trepidation. You hold your head between your hands and mutter, "This isn't happening, this isn't happening, this isn't happening." Spork Monster is no quitter. Beefed up and ready to rumble, they go on the attack once again. Spork Monster uses Utilitensile. You take 2 damage from the attack. If you take much more damage, you're not going to survive the battle. Go on the attack. Spork Monster is oozing cheese sauce onto the lawn of the quad. I wonder who's going to have to clean that up. Feeling vulnerable, Spork Monster prepares to use its ultimate attack, Rounded Edge. Vile villain, your reign of terror stops here. Colonel Sanders summons the energy of 1,000 chickens. No, I think someone owes me an apology for suggesting that shirt wasn't good. The shirt's at least come undone. Mystery, this one's for you. Hot Pop Power Pinch. Hot Pop Power Pinch does 10 damage. Spork Monster is defeated. Happy music plays. You saved me. An injured Spork Monster spews steam into the night. I don't know. I feel like we should eat him, right? We're not supposed to waste food. Is that a weird thing to do? Eat the Spork Monster that seems to be made out of, like, mashed potato or something? Oh, I see what you mean. I guess, as I said, it sure wouldn't come off. Apparently one button coming undone isn't too raunchy for the children of the UK. So it has, like, a really low rating in the UK, and, like, shirtless cartoon character is, like, too much for that rating? I honestly have no idea what outcome I expect from either of these choices. I feel like I'm supposed to eat him. I'm gonna say finish him. No student will ever walk in the quad in fear again. This monster messed with the wrong chef.
I'm so
You ready
ready
your
for
final
mysteries
attack?
right now.
What sort of mystery are you horny for that involves this Spork Monster demolition? You'll never survive my student debt loan destruction. It does 10 damage. Sport monster is completely vaporized. Colonel Sanders looks on in awe. You continue to surprise me, Vasco. The defeated monster left behind a special item. It appears at first to be a cookbook, but upon closer inspection, it's so much more. It's a book of magic spells with a golden chicken on the cover. Wow, it was very fortuitous of me to talk about looting corpses and gaining magical powers. Why didn't you start with that move? Because you have to go to enough school to accrue enough debt for that damage to become crippling, I think. Now we have the Chicronomicon. Yeah, seems like it. Although it doesn't actually look like it's bound with chicken skin, which is surprising considering. You open the cover and find a library card tucked inside. The last name to assign it out is Borko. Borko. That name sounds strangely familiar. Oh no, that's Colonel Sanders. That name sounds strangely familiar. Your blood is pumping as you stand in the quiet of the night holding a mysterious book in your hands. As you come down from your battle buzz, you realize that your final attack has left you completely depleted. Also, the battle was very draining. The world around you begins to fade away. Without any energy to keep your eyes open, darkness overtakes you. The image of Colonel Sanders flashes before your eyes as you fall asleep. He must have helped you get home. In your tired state, you don't know if you could have made it home without him. What a guy. You want to thank him, but you don't have the strength to utter a single word. You feel your covers being pulled up over you as you're tucked in tightly. Good night, my Colonel. In your dream, you're together with Colonel Sanders. For some reason, Sprinkles is also there instructing your love. Dreams are weird. Honk shoe. Oh, God. I love that there's something really funny to me about the fact that like throwaway student canonically just dies to prove a point. I wonder what the kanji on the poster says. It's a good question. I have no idea. You awake on day 2 and attempt to process the wild visions you had. Were they memories or premonitions? And then there was that secret ingredient that Colonel Sanders went ahead and told you outright. Not much of a secret, huh? It's probably just because he already trusts you so much. Sure, that makes sense. We'll go with that. Meet up with your bestie in front of the school. Your bet is, it says chicken. That seems like a safe bet. It could be like some chicken-related word. Before you can tell her about the encounter with the spork monster, she launches into a story of her own. Okay, I know this might sound a little strange, but I think I might be, I think I might like Clank. Like him? Like? I know, it sounds like it's moving too fast, but there's something about him. I like him. I like him. We got to talking after class. He's actually a totally sweet guy. Not only that, but he's really smart. He told me all kinds of stories about Colonel Sanders. Did you know that Colonel Sanders was the most popular kid in his high school? Yeah, obviously. Look at him. And he makes that shit. I mean, look at him. No, but that makes total sense. Yeah, but he was so popular, he was voted prom king at a school he didn't even go to. And was also the convertible that he himself drove in at the front of the homecoming parade. No, they are saying this is a weirdly constructed sentence. He was voted prom king at a school he didn't even go to, and he was also the convertible that he himself drove in to homecoming parade. I mean, that track. The funny thing about this is Mario Lopez has played the character of Colonel Sanders, the like fictional version of hot Colonel Sanders. This is also how Mario Lopez writes all Mario Lopez movies. Like, whatever character Mario Lopez plays in a Mario Lopez movie, like, all the other characters have to fawn over him. And whenever he's not on screen, they have to be asking, where's Mario Lopez? I'm thinking maybe something got lost in pressure cooker language translation there. Either way, maybe it'd be best if you took it slow with this new boy, like I am with Colonel Sanders. I don't think we're doing that at all. You and Colonel Sanders, the coolest guy in school, the most famous student to ever attend the University of Cooking School Academy for Learning? You're a thing now? We definitely connected yesterday. You sure did. You're great. Why wouldn't they be into you, I guess? Laughing at the implication that you and Colonel Sanders might be a thing is definitely not cool. You are great. Awesome, even. You have an idea about how to prove that your love is real. Well, oh, are you kidding me? What a heinous decision this is. He's not that into me. Why did he tell me one of his secret ingredients? Shh. Andantino's secret ingredient. Bestie's eyes light up. A secret ingredient? Yeah, I just said that. A secret ingredient. Is there a dramatic echo in here? Miriam checks to make sure you're alone before continuing. So this summer when I was on vacation with my family, a lovely man approached me in the botanical garden where I was wandering. This can't be good. He told me all about his passion for spices. Secret spices. Shh, secret spices. The man even gave me some to show me what he meant. He said it was a powder created from super duper rare dried flower petals, and that if I did him a big favor, I could have some of my own. Please, Miriam, don't tell me. So I filled my suitcase with them and brought them home. It was so nice he even met me at the gate when I arrived. Later, when I cooked with them, a very strange feeling came over me, and the flavor was unlike anything I'd ever tasted. I think you're being very liberal with the meaning of spices here. Whatever. Anyhow, we both share an interest in cooking, so we've stayed in touch, like pen pals. I bet he would love to know more about new spices. Well, I'm definitely not supposed to share Colonel Sanders' secret recipe, and besides, I only know the one ingredient, so I doubt it'd be much use to anyone. Please, please, please! Don't prove me wrong. It would mean the world to me. No one has to know it came from you or Colonel Sanders. Absolutely not. Not a shot. They're drugs. Oh my god, smuggling. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Hit the one ingredient is chicken. That would be a really sick burn, right? Of course, then she, wouldn't believe that, Colonel Sanders loved us for real, but, that's not how relationships work. Well, it was actually missed the trade. I'm sorry to hear it. But that just means more time with Colonel Sanders. I'm gonna make up a fake ingredient because, I'm not an idiot. Quickly think of a fake ingredient name. I don't know. How about... It was Eye of Newt. I know it sounds like some kind of witch's potion, but what can you do? Eye of Newt? Wow! Your eyes light up imagining such a thing, and you figure that you've satisfied her curiosity and she'll move on. However, she immediately turns around and does some thumb typing on her phone you can't quite see. That's probably not good. Before you can ask her to confirm that she was definitely not texting secrets to other people, you're interrupted. By the way, I know, we haven't spent all of our waking moments with our childhood friend, but, the fact that she would so rapidly betray our trust like that, presuming that we had told her the real ingredient, is, an extremely horrible look. A wind rushes and cherry blossom petals fill the air. It's Colonel Sanders riding a horse. Why wouldn't it be Colonel Sanders riding a horse? Again, I don't know what you all expected when today started, but this should have been it. It's Colonel Sanders. He's arriving at school. Oh, hang on. Stand back and admire his majestic glory or run to him. He doesn't seem one for, playing it cool or whatever. Sarah says, let's date the horse. Nicker says, not American enough, needs a cowboy hat. Kind of real for that. I mean, I feel like there was probably no good option in our last choice. And, there's still a risk that he's gonna be upset with us. But, I think we run to him because it's, the romantic cliche, and I don't think this game expects you to be coy, at all. You decide that the best way to show Miriam how serious you and Colonel Sanders are would be to run to him. Surely he'll sweep you up onto the back of his stallion and you'll ride away together. That'll show her good. Oh, Colonel, my Colonel! However, your sudden movement surprises the horse and it rears up, kicking you directly in the face. Force of the blow completely knocks you out cold. In the darkness, you see a vision. Oh, Vasco, I'm here to deliver a message. Not this guy. It is important that you remember this exactly as I say it. If you forget, the world could end, so you know it's like super cereal. I have been trapped in a realm beyond, but a great prophecy relies on my return. Only you can save me. All you need to do is to repeat my name 3 times. And that name is... But before he can continue, you suddenly awake. Oh, jeez. You wake to find Colonel Sanders tending to you. He roused me back to life, all ladies.
Doug, the mole man.
He roused you back to life with a satchel of secret spices, or is that just his natural seasoned musk? I feel like this is framed where, like, if we don't have confidence, we talk about the horse. But like, I feel like we should kiss him, yeah? Like, I don't think we have any chill. So he goes, this is natural seasoned musk is a member of my community cooked here. I mean, there are lots of communities you could be a part of. Is one of them Colonel Sanders fan fiction? I don't know. I'm sticking to my guns. I feel like I have yet to truly be punished for picking the option that seems most obvious. Like, I might be getting gaslit a little here, but I think, like, seeing the ghost student, like, actually somehow will set us up for success in the future. I don't know why those seem to be loud. I haven't changed the desktop audio. Did I change the headphone settings? I might have done that. It's entirely possible I did that when I couldn't hear out of my left ear for most of the week. Only in for a kiss. You've doing it for a day, are you sure? I guess you must be. Put your arms around Colonel Sanders' neck and pull him in for a kiss. But he turns his face. You awkwardly kiss his ear. You can feel him shudder. Too soon, you clearly mistook his compassion for love. Your soul crawls inside itself and you instantly die of embarrassment. You know what? That is fair. I don't know where that's going to take me back to. There aren't saves. Oh, that's really problematic. I mean, I guess I'll just load an unlocked chapter? Does that work? I mean, so far it seems like it's remembered my options. We'll find out, I guess, maybe. I'm gonna try and speed through this without accidentally, like, clicking past something I need to, like, acknowledge. Choice coming up. Horrible story. It's more talking than I thought there was. Make up a fake ingredient. Okay, he showed up. I'm gonna run to him and get kicked by a horse. See a vision of the student. Get woken up. Compliment the craftsmanship of his horse's shoes. That says, Colonel's pouch of secret spices, but it's just his underpants. That's I don't know how one is meant to respond to such a comment. Maybe you shouldn't be riding a horse to school, and maybe you shouldn't be running up to animals you don't know. Hard to say who was in the wrong here. One thing is for sure, Colonel Sanders is pretty dreamy. That horse has beautiful shoes. I could really feel how smooth and sturdy they were when they were pressing into my face. That's nice to hear. No one truly appreciates good craftsmanship anymore. And with that, Colonel Sanders disappears into the school, leaving you and Miriam to follow. When you enter the classroom, you see your two rivals, Ashley and Van Van, are doing something bad. By the way they're hiding, you know it must be really bad. Like counterfeiting receipts bad, experimenting with restricted ingredients bad, summoning a demon bad? Try and get a peek over Van Van's hulking shoulder, but he sees you coming. Whoa there, little one. I'm not sure you're ready to handle this. Why don't you make like a bee and mind your own wax, honey? The diesel train from Starlight Express? I feel like I should be familiar, but I'm not. And at the same time, I feel confident that, yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm torn on this one because, like, I feel like normally I would just want to, like, figure out what they were doing to make sure that I didn't get, like, got by it. Neither of these seems like a particularly good option. I feel like if I just, like, didn't want to deal with them, I, like, wouldn't engage at all. But these are both, like, some kind of engaging with them. I'll get a closer look. No, to be clear, Zach, I'm familiar with the concept of Starlight Express, but I don't know it well enough to know what the Starlight Express diesel train looks like. Isn't it like a Broadway roller play? Like everyone's on roller skates? Isn't that a thing? That guy looks like diesel train. I'll take your word on it. Like I said, like I feel like I understand the concept enough to be like, probably. Yeah. You sit near the rivals, but leave your back turned to them. You even hear Van Van mutter something that sounds a bit like a magic spell. However, he notices you eavesdropping. Try to cover your tracks and improvise an excuse. Time for class, and you're distracting the rest of us who want to learn. Now you've upset them. Oh, and you're the emperor of cooking, are you? You make the rules? I'm not sure you know how to make a good meal if it ate you. Being the best chef in the world makes more than just... being the best chef in the world takes just more than just culinary skills. It takes creativity. It takes panache. And it doesn't hurt to use a little evil. You finally get a look at what it was they were hiding. You instantly recognize it. It's a book, just like the one you found after your encounter with the spork monster. That's the same book I found last night in the quad. Ashley immediately elbows Van Van, who hides the book behind his back. I don't know what you're talking about. The book is a family heirloom and its contents are secret. Shh, secret book. You notice that they haven't just been studying the book. They've got Pop pinned to the wall, and they're tossing potato skins at him as he tries to catch them in his mouth. I'm honestly not sure... Like, I don't think anyone involved in that exchange is actually being punished. Like, it feels like that's fine for everyone involved, but I still hate that it's happening. We're playing here. Before you can dig in any further, you're interrupted by the arrival of more students. It's almost time for class. Beep, beep. Clank must be running late. He's in such a hurry he rolls right over Van Van's meaty foot. Oh, he's so sad now. Watch it, you bucket of bolts. Watch how you talk to him. He didn't do anything. He did. He ran over his foot. Why does the meat lady have thighs like, whoa? I mean, someone's got to have them chicken thighs. Who do you think you're talking to? I've never heard such language. Not even from a stand mixer. No, your mother was a stand mixer. Van Van jumps to attack Clank, but Clank shocks Van Van, sending him flying across the room. I mean, if that lady has servants, they almost definitely call her dummy thick. That is true. Okay. Protect me, Colonel Sanders. These crazed men are about to come to blows. I think it might be over me, but I'm not interested in either of them. Ashley's tone has completely changed in an instant. She bats her eyelashes at Colonel Sanders. Surely he must know that this is a ruse, right? Gentlemen, get a hold of yourselves. Save it for the arena at least. Or don't. Honestly, what do I care? I got lofty career aspirations to focus on. Maybe I can help you with your business plan. Just then, Sprinkles arrives to signal the true start of the class day. He's panting, which doesn't seem abnormal. He's a professor, but also a dog. Students, please take your seats. Apologies for my late arrival. I spent the morning chasing a car around town and my tiny legs were very tired. But I'm here now and I hope you're ready to learn. He rubs his furry dog belly. He loves it. Sprinkles stops in his track and sniffs the air around you. Something has him in a trance. It's the scent left on you from Colonel Sanders. Sprinkles jumps on you and licks your face. Down, boy, down. I'm bopping. A command shouted by Colonel Sanders has snapped Sprinkles out of his trance. I wonder what was up with that. I love that, like, him having a magical chicken staff is, like, literally canon. Sorry, I got a little carried away. After he catches his breath, Sprinkles regains control of the classroom. Without further ado, we'll review the global history of my favorite fowl, the chicken! You want to pay attention to the class, you truly do. Which is why in 1776, the signing of the Declaration of Independence, it was a chicken who first signed their name. But you can't help but daydream about Colonel Sanders, and you miss most of the important parts. When you come to, Sprinkles is holding a tray of food in front of you. Well, Vasco? Naturally, this appears to you to be a simple platter. Which item do you want to sample? The difficulty curve is on the rise, I'll tell you that. Part of me thinks dog biscuit because it's closest to a biscuit, which would be like... Basically, I'm going off the reasoning that, like, anything that can cause, like, a graphic of an actual Kentucky Fried Chicken food to appear on screen is probably best for you. But, like, without knowing the prompt, it's really difficult to even make an educated guess here, to be honest. Do you call them dog biscuits in America or dog cookies? Dog biscuits! I know that probably seems weird and inconsistent, but it'd be true. I don't know, the correct answer seems like it's probably pepper? Chat's torn on this too. Sometimes you ask the dog if they want a cookie, though. I mean, that's just obviously important. Shouldn't you must want to eat all of them? Nah, not really. Ugh, I'm sorry you also had a rough day at work today, Zacula. If it's any consolation, I envision Colonel Sanders tucking you into bed. I don't know, let's go dog biscuit. Because of the shape it's baked in, you assume the dog biscuit is a treat made by Sprinkles, an example of his own culinary talents, perhaps. You reach out for it when Sprinkles jumps up and bites onto your cooking apron. What kind of monster would steal a dog's favorite biscuit? Your apron is left in tatters. The entire class looks on in horror as you fall unconscious from the embarrassment. Never even got to taste it. Can this be the end? Getting between a dog and his bone probably isn't a great choice. Guess I'll speed run. This is the hardest chapter by far, this chapter. First bad dog you've ever seen. I don't know. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's hold to advance. Okay. I've just sort of been ignoring the fast forward button, but now I have use for it. I say, okay, it stops when you have choices, so we can return to the present presently. For shoes. I gotta say, I'm gonna do the same. I think it's good for us to know about the book. To me, I wouldn't like. Obviously, this game is not designed in such a way that like it's meant to be like logical or like puzzle based or what have you. But like when presented with 3 items on a tray, I wouldn't assume one of those is something that the dog intends to eat himself. It's weird. Okay, so not dog biscuit. Okay, hear me out. The dog biscuit is something that he wants to eat. Water is something a dog can eat. I don't know if dogs can eat peppers, but I don't think they normally do. So then I'm going to go with Shimmering Pepper and see if any kind of reasoning works here, or if this is entirely arbitrary. Brightly colored pepper stands out from the other items and sparkles in a most eye-catching way, so naturally you reach out for it, grab it, and eat it right away. However, your body is not prepared for the heat. The pepper has triggered an intense spice hallucination. It feels like forever as you trip through the universe. Ooh, my friend. Ooh. This guy again? I'm here to give you an important message. Ooh, you must avenge my death and fulfill your destiny. I mean, you could just, like, tell me your name at this point, and then we'd be squared away, right? All you must do is... to fulfill your destiny... Sorry, I think I got a little something in my throat. It's fine, I'll work through... to fulfill the prophecy... You must. You feel yourself begin to regain consciousness. Oh, man. You come to and find everyone is staring at you. That pepper was the last of its kind on Earth, and now it's gone forever. You think to yourself, geez, I should pay better attention. We all make mistakes. I'm sure he'll forgive you. We all make mistakes. I'm sure he'll forgive you someday. Come on, it's time for lunch. Before anyone can relax, the cafeteria lights dim. Your rivals enter to make a dramatic announcement. Today's lunch will be prepared via timed competition cook-off. The level of theatrics with these two is off the charts. I don't get, like... I don't think that Colonel Sanders is a vain man. But I don't think he backs down from a challenge, right? Stand user could be anyone. No, it's true. There's really no way to know who in this game is secretly a stand user, right, Zagulum? You're on. Bit of lunchtime competition, eh? Count me in. If I have to wipe the tables with you fools before I set my lunch on it, so be it. I'm not the fool. I'm not the fool. You're the fool. Good one, Van. I like your gumption, Vasco. I'll be watching your performance. Just as things reach a boiling point, Sprinkle steps in. Surely he'll put a stop to this madness. Now, students. Please settle down. This is the lunchroom, not a sportsing court. Finally, a little sense. You breathe a sigh of relief. At least not until we turn on the timer! Oh my god, it's very big. And a huge light blasts you in the face, flashing the words, "Timer ready." That's what I'm talking about. Aroo! I stand corrected. The hard way builds solidly a foundation of confidence that cannot be swept away. And that's an original quote by me, in case anyone was wondering. I hope its message lifts you to victory. Like a diamond, I was formed under pressure, and now's my chance to shine. I will defeat you myself. You had his chicken, and you made mashed potatoes and gravy on day 1. Now you're feeling like you can really impress him again here. It's time to boil some water for the potatoes. Think fast. If the timer runs down, you'll be forced to pick randomly. Okay, not liking the sound of this, but okay. It always boils to 100 seconds after you turn the heat on. That's wrong. Gonna need to season this chicken before you cook it. You don't know Colonel Sanders' recipe exactly, but you have an idea. It's 11 herbs and spices. Might not know all the ingredients yet, but at least you're headed in the right direction. Tail wagging intensifies. Now you've got some basic steps going, time to elevate your craft. What state of mind offers the most flavor? Gratitude? You must never take this opportunity for granted if you hope to succeed. Classmates are rooting for you, but Ashley is simply stronger and faster than you. You'd better pick up the pace if you want to survive. When you were a child, your father told you never forget where you came from. Every day you meditate on his advice and draw energy from that place. Small town. That's right, this is your shot, and you're not gonna miss it. Aroo! Try to shut out the noise of the arena and focus on your cooking. What is the sound of success? Sizzling. Don't make me get the spray bottle. Next question. You notice Colonel Sanders out of the corner of your eye. I believe in you, Vasco. He's actually cheering you on, which would be awesome, except knowing he's watching makes you totally forget what you were doing. Now all you can think about is Colonel Sanders. Stupid, sexy Sanders! How many spoonfuls of gravy would it take to fill a traditional... That timer wasn't 10 seconds. You're stranded on a desert island with only one dessert cookbook. What do you take? What a hunk. I know, right? You know what? Should you be focused on the challenge or falling behind? Forgot the question. You and Colonel... What does that have to do with crafting a spectacular fried chicken and delicate baked biscuits? Woof woof. You're really struggling to keep up. The next station over, Ashley has begun plating elements of her dish. It's colorful and complex. To make up time, you toss your biscuit dough into a stand mixer. As you do, the crowd gasps. Yikes. I know you love nothing more than seeing a fellow appliance used in a kitchen battle, but sometimes it means sacrificing a personal touch. Whirr. You might not have any hands, but Vasco does, and a good chef needs to be touching the dough to know when it's properly mixed. There's an easy way and a hard way. You don't get far by going the easy way. When you hear everyone talking, you realize how serious your error was. You immediately shove your hand into the mixer to rescue your dough before it's overmixed. Vasco, no! But you're not fast enough and your hands get stuck. It's immediately crushed by the quickly spinning beaters. There's no way you'll be able to use that hand for the rest of the match. Oh, Sanders shakes his head in shame. What you often find is that the easy way can turn out much, much more difficult. Everyone stop what you're doing right now. The battle is over. It can't be. I was so close to finishing my dish. Sweetheart, look at your head. You simply can't go on. It's too bad. I was here with my completed dish ready to serve. Surely that makes me winner by default. No, it wouldn't be fair to compare the two on account of Vasco's injury. You see Sprinkles begin to lick his doggy chops as he locks onto the dish. But I suppose you should at least tell us what you prepared. Well, because I'm the sweetest, I skipped straight to dessert. Under this white chocolate dome, you'll find an array of delights taking you on a journey of flavor that tastes good and tells a story of excellence. I was gonna ask Vasco to do the honor, but since you're injured, I'm afraid that pouring the creamer of delicate chocolate sauce would be too difficult. Colonel Sanders, if you wouldn't mind lending me a strong, steady hand. Colonel Sanders pours the hot chocolate sauce on top of the dome, causing it to melt away, revealing the ingredients hidden within. Inside, you find a delicate fried cheese croquette, atop a slice of honeycomb, ice cream, 2 ways, tender nougat, and pearls of blueberry gelée. That's a lot. That's a lot. Colonel Sanders seems intrigued, but perhaps not impressed as he dips his finger in the chocolate sauce. Simplicity isn't your strong suit, is it, Ashley? Oh, yo. As he places a sauce-covered finger into his lips, Ashley leans over and whispers something into his ear. A dab of sauce sticks to his mustache. I don't know. I feel like we give her the rope to hang her. So I don't think he's gonna be interested in her. I think we just stand here and internalize the rage that we feel. Rage burns so intensely within your eyes that they may burst into flames. The flames cause your eyebrows to catch fire and turn to ash. They fall off your face, which means most people have a hard time understanding your emotions for the rest of the semester, perhaps forever. Embarrassed and shamed by your poor performance, not to mention your crispy fried brow, you run for the quad to be alone. Beautiful weather feels like an insult. Inside of you, a storm rages. It's Colonel Sanders. He's probably here to tell you that he and Ashley are in love and have decided to get married. And he won't even ask you to cater his wedding because you're a terrible chef and awful person. Try to hide from him, but he approaches you directly. I know you're hurting right now. Not just from the devastating loss, but from that run-in with the mixer and the small fire. We should really get that checked out. I'm fine. Can't you just leave me alone? I'm a loser. I'm not fit to fill your fryer. I'll never be a master chef. Failure is part of life, not just for you, but for all of us. Do you think I've never failed at anything before? Yes. Well, think again. I wasn't always the man you see before you. Enrolled in culinary school, incredibly handsome, successful, motivated. Hey, plot twist. Maybe he's Pop from the future who came back to change history. Well, handsome, sure. I was born that way. But I've walked other paths and arrived at dead ends. I was passionate about life, but I failed as an obstetrician. I was passionate about justice, but I failed as a lawyer. I was passionate about livestock, but I even failed as a mule handler. That one was especially humiliating. Mules are very cruel. I lost my business partner to a gunfight, and I lost my innocence when I picked up a firearm and put a bullet in my rival. He survived, for a while anyhow. I didn't know that. People see my delicate ribbon tie and my well-kept beard and assume that I've got it all together, which is currently true, but it hasn't always been. Sounds like this guy could really use a hug. I resolved that I was going to amount to something, no amount of hours, labor, or money would... Oh no, that's Colonel Sanders. Sorry, I thought that was me responding to him. I resolved that I was going to amount to something, no amount of hours, labor, or money would deter me from giving the best I had to give. As Colonel Sanders changes focus, you can see something ignite inside him. A burning passion. One has to remember that every failure can be a stepping stone to something better. My new dream is pure. It's honest. It's something that a humble man in a crisp white suit can be proud of. I will create a new chain of chicken restaurants that'll bring joy to the entire world and make up for my past misdeeds. I honestly have no idea if that, he killed a man in a duel lore is real Colonel Sanders history. Yay. Just as your moment grows intimate, you're interrupted by a threatening, shadowy presence. Scarred from the night before, you prepare for the worst. It's the Spork Monster. Gorko the Spork Monster is here to fight a hero. Is anyone else feeling a bit of deja vu? I'm sorry, Gorko, but I could have sworn we already battled you last night. That's Borko, my twin, and I, Gorko, am here to avenge them. Are you stronger than Borko? Oh, we're twins, so no, not really. We're pretty much exactly equal in every way, but why do you ask? Colonel Sanders smirks. He's already on the same page as you. It's just that we beat Borko pretty easily, so I don't think you have much of a chance. Not to mention I feel really guilty about that. If I could take it back, I would. I think what Vasco is saying is, can't we just be friends? Life is too short for making enemies. I suppose we really don't need to fight. It's just I've got these pointy teeth and claws. All the better for enjoying tasty foods. Surely you like to eat, don't we all? Of course I do. Inspiration strikes and you come up with a quick idea. Chomp on this. You toss a biscuit into Gorko's open mouth and he devours it in one gulp. Delicious. You're much nicer than the evil students who once upon a time turned me into this creature who stands here today. I don't believe it. You were human once? Well, no, I was a chihuahua, but I was still a student at this school, till one day some mean kids with a magic spellbook cast a dark enchantment on me, and I was forever transformed. Magic spellbook? Precisely. Borko used to have a copy, but somewhere along the way I've lost it. If you find such a book, I beg of you, respect it. You're a powerful chef and shouldn't rely on dark and evil magic. No, you should be protecting the innocent from those who would cheat them through sorcery and guile. If you need me, don't fear, I will be there. Sounds like there are some bad cooks in the kitchen of life. Vasco, together I am sure we could defeat them. Come back to my hideaway and we can discuss. A personal invite. You can't imagine what Colonel Sanders' home must be like, but it sounds like you're about to find out. Stepping inside Sanders' home, surrounded by his things, you start to feel a special bond with him. I'm sorry, was the school day over? You only had the one class. Looks like you live such an exciting life, Colonel Sanders. Every day can be an adventure if you approach it with the right attitude. Long ago I made the decision to never stop searching, never stop working, never stop imagining. Have you been working on any new recipes of your own lately? I'm always excited to talk about food with another ambitious chef. Well, there is something. It's just a side dish I've been tinkering with, trying to find the right balance of flavors and textures. Not sure I've nailed it yet, but I'm close. Colonel Sanders' eyes perk up as he starts to wonder what dish you might be describing. It's meant to pair with something spicy or something crispy. Both, perhaps? Now that you've got him right where you want him, should you reveal your new creation or keep it secret? I don't believe you can keep a secret from Colonel Sanders. That's really funny. Devilish asks if the Chihuahua backstory is Taco Bell dog lore. That may be intentional. Those two restaurants do have the same parent company. Nicholas says you did knife the dog in the end. I mean, it's weird. It says they were twins, so I guess you should assume that the other one was a Chihuahua too, right? Anyway, I'm going to reveal the secret. You decide that you're as ready as you'll ever be to share your original cooking with Colonel Sanders. Before you can talk yourself out of it, you decide to dive in head first. You reach into your lunch bag for a special dish you've been keeping on ice all day. I present to you my original coleslaw. The shredded cabbage dish glistens in the light of Colonel Sanders' luxe hideaway. Magnificent! Together you chow down on the creamy slaw until just a spoonful remains in the bowl. Do you mind if I hold on to the last bite? I'd like to have it around so that I can admire its taste later and think back on this moment. It's coleslaw? I don't recommend it. You could offer to make him more, but it seems like a very sentimental kind of guy. Sure, why not? Please make yourself comfortable. I'll be back in just a moment. You realize that now would be the perfect time to do some snooping. Around the room are various items you can look closer at. Each item seems to radiate memories and emotions. Tap on them to discover more about the Colonel. Okay. We'll start with the chicken. You notice a very realistic stuffed chicken sitting on a corner table. When you pick it up, you realize it isn't realistic, it's real. Taxidermy? Must have been important to Colonel Sanders when it was alive. Little note clipped to the chicken's foot reads, "The true state bird of the great state of Kentucky." Nick would like me to look at baby Colonel Sanders. An adorable little baby boy crawls across the floor. From the goatee and mustache combo he sports, you figure that this must be Colonel Sanders himself. That, or maybe it's the drumstick. He seems to be waving like a rattle. Who frames a baby picture of just themselves? That is the question I was asking. They're the same type of person who would make their own face the logo of a company they founded, am I right? You got me there. This must be where he keeps the secret recipe. You think for a moment. What number is important to Colonel Sanders? Then it dawns on you. As soon as you turn the dial to 111111, the safe opens. Inside it, you find a single note. Can chicken be prepared sashimi style? Let me look at this urn. Take a closer look at the urn. There's a plaque on it. It's dusty, but when you wipe it off, you can read the inscription. Here lies the ashes of all my past careers and business failures. Poor guy. It's a scented candle. You pick it up and try to identify the smell. Power tool? Freshly starched collar? Piece of wood floating in a lake? Summer of 69? Nice. No, it's one of the secret recipe ingredients. It's... Tap on an item. A lock of silver hair is woven through the teeth of this comb. On further inspection, you realize that the hair therein isn't just silvery in color, it's made of spun silver. It appears to be Colonel Sanders, except he's an old man visiting the pyramids of Egypt? Maybe this is where he discovered one of the secrets of herbs and spices. One of the framed photos just shows an old man who looks a bit like Colonel Sanders standing with a friend. They hold fried chicken drumsticks and appear to be cheersing them. False. That's not what's depicted at all. I think this is, you totally can eat chicken sashimi once. You know, maybe you'll survive it. Maybe. Look closely and see there's a short inscription. I wonder who my friend Pete is. Look outside. You gaze out the window across the vast lake and mountain range beyond. Just then the ghost of student pops up. Are you thinking about heading out into the world on a quest to avenge my death? Wait, what? I never even learned your name. Why would I avenge you? I could just tell you my name right now. It's... You see him in the middle of something? You open the window a crack and the ghost of student is swept out with the breeze. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye. You open the door to Colonel Sanders' closet and find a row of his signature white suits hanging within. You take one off its hanger and try it on. The jacket is a bit big for you, but it's soft and comfortable. You give yourself a deep hug, breathing in his scent. They say that home is where the heart is. Is this what they meant? Before you can look any further, you hear Colonel Sanders returning. He has a new dish that he has been working on, and he wants you to taste it. You try to act casual until he asks why you're wearing his jacket. I don't usually loan those out, but I must say it does look good on you. Oh crap, the jacket! You know, fess up and tell him the truth. Confess. I think I've developed feelings for you. I might be developing feelings for you too, but I'm concerned. I can't let anything get in the way of my dreams. In bachelor parlance, they're falling for each other, but they're not allowed to say the L word. It's soft banned. Overwhelmed, you take off the jacket and run for the door, but the thought of leaving Colonel in the midst of such an emotional breakthrough gives you pause. You stop yourself. Colonel? Yes, Vasco? I honestly think this may be the beginning of something wonderful. Nope. I don't think I double-clicked, but I skipped something. You talk late into the night and drift off into slumber. Dream sequence! Honk shoe. Ghost of student. You wake to a beautiful morning in Colonel Sanders' hideaway. I mean, scandal. Maybe we can ride his horse to school, though. I don't want to see the alive student path or the true ending. What makes you think that the student would be alive for the true ending? Did you make the right decision on how to respond to Colonel Sanders? Only time will truly tell. Today is a day that could change the rest of your life. You think about the new secret ingredient you just learned about. In some jurisdictions, it isn't even legal. But if the recipe is secret, how will they know? Your thoughts are interrupted when Colonel Sanders emerges into the room. He's holding a gorgeously plated breakfast, and your mouth waters at the sight of it. Here's a simple breakfast I just whipped up. It's meticulous. It's just a little fried chicken and some buttery biscuits. You taste Colonel Sanders' food, and it takes you on a journey. When you return, he's waiting to ask you an important question. Would you say that we're the perfect match? How presumptuous. My cuisine, your taste buds, that is. Such confidence, such grace. Could he be the world's greatest gift to cookery? He's like a cooker, you know? Character will die of a heart attack via cholesterol overload. I think this game presupposes like a short, almost like insectoid lifespan because like our entire school career happens in the span of 3 days. So like, why not eat fried chicken? Not exactly gonna live to 100. I don't know. I see no reason to like not. Even though the Colonel is confident, we've never really seen him exhibit overconfidence. Like, it's a little bit of a character flaw, but it's not like outright destructive. I'm just gonna flatter him. You know, I think we might make a great team. A single tear begins to pool in the corner of his eye as he gazes out the window. And with the right business partner, I know I can't fail. Business partner? Could he be talking to you? It's all happening so quickly. Business partner, parentheses, meaning ambiguous. Overcome with emotion and confused by your feelings, you're on the verge of tears. Unable to speak, the only answer you can find is to run out the door and go home. Just one more day of school, after all. The University of Cooking School : Academy for Learning waits for no one. You get home to find something very surprising. Your best friend is waiting for you in your house for some unknown reason. Second says, partner, parentheses, implication, deep fried. Business partner, aka roommate. You know, if you really think about it, a business partner is a roommate, but you just share your work room instead of your home room, you know? Is that profound? Is that something? Where have you been? Because I had one heck of a night. I've been desperate to talk to you about it, but I couldn't find you. I got so worried that something had happened. It's okay, but now that it turns out you're fine, I can actually get you up to speed on the saga of Miriam. Sure, but you'll not believe what happened to me after school yesterday. I went on a date. I think I could believe that. Since I'd been partnered up with Clank, he asked me to go out with him. Of course, I told him, you better keep your dials turned to polite and respectful. I'm not that kind of girl. He was just interested in spending some one-on-one time together and getting to know me, so I said, yeah, sure. I can get to know the little metallic guy. Wait, I thought she said she wasn't that kind of girl. Neko asks, to be the Colonel's partner, wouldn't we have to be the chicken? Nah, he had a partner he, like, killed a guy for, right? Long story short, he took me skydiving with his friends, but things quickly spiraled out of control. Did she just say skydiving? As if that's a typical first date to go on with a talking pressure cooker? I mean, again, if we're going by Bachelor rules, like, that stuff happens all the time. It's actually really weird. And now I'm not really sure where we stand. I don't know KFC lore. I mean, it was in this game. I don't even know if it's actual lore. You don't give Miriam time to tell her whole story, however. Bottling up the details of your own night is too much to bear. And I went on a date too, back to Colonel Sanders' house, where I spent the night with him. Nani? Nothing happened, but the emotional connection, wowzers. Miriam tells you to move on from this whole Colonel Sanders obsession and focus on school. That's not really an option, huh? If being obsessed with Colonel Sanders is wrong, you don't want to be right. After a short argument, you both agree to go your separate ways. When you arrive at school, you encounter your rivals in the quad. You can tell from a distance they're picking on Pop, though he himself might not quite grasp that fact. Because, you know, he's Pop. What's a swirly? It sounds delicious. Oh, it's great. I'll order you up one right away. I'll have my swirly with sprinkles, please. Sprinkles is a dog. And a treat. I know words because I'm human. And you could get your swirly dip too. Why don't you pick on someone your own size? Because I'm literally the biggest person in this school. There is that horse that Colonel Sanders rides to school, but who would dare pick on such a gentle and beautiful creature? You got some nerve, Vasco, suggesting I pick on a defenseless horse. Now you're twisting my words and I won't have it. Clench your fist, but the injury from yesterday's mixer accident makes you wince with pain. Doesn't look like you could go on cooking like that. Might as well just give up. I'll never give up. Ever. Colonel Sanders arrives just as it appears things are close to boiling over. A naturally intuitive person, he senses that something has been going on. Is everyone excited for the final day of school? Vasco, how's that hand feeling? I'm sure he'll be back to fighting form by this afternoon. Aren't you concerned about my hands, Colonel? Yesterday I almost broke a nail winning so hard. Technically, I don't believe a winner was decided, but your presentation was quite impressive. What's he doing complimenting her? What about the flavor of my delicate, warm, gooey chocolate sauce? I'm really glad that sentence ended with chocolate sauce. It was clear that you're passionate about how your food is received. It's a lot of words to say it was bland. Excuse me, Vasco. I am more than capable enough to speak for myself. Maybe you could tell me more about your thoughts as we walk to class, Colonel. I'm always interested in discussing the fine art of fine foods. See you inside, Vasco. Annoyed by Colonel Sanders' inability to see Ashley for who you know she really is, you walk across the quad to get some distance. In an attempt to distract yourself from how slighted you feel by that interaction with Ashley, you take out the spellbook you recovered yesterday and start flipping through the pages. Wasn't it 2 days ago? He did shoot someone, but the guy did not die from the injuries. I feel like it was implied but not explicitly stated that he didn't die right away, but he died eventually. It is possible that it wasn't even like long-term from the injuries sustained from the shot, but like that was kind of the vibe I got. Oh, what's that book? It looks like bad news. It's just something I found lying around. It would appear to be some sort of grimoire, but I don't really believe in that magic stuff. A grimoire? Like a book of spells? I don't know. Who would spend so much time decorating a magic book if it weren't really powerful? I can think of one surefire way to find out. You open up to a page covered with arcane warnings, cast only in case of extreme emergency, it says around the edges of the page. I could use this spell here that says it'll erase anyone I choose from all of my memories. If I scrub out Colonel Sanders, it would probably help me focus better on the upcoming final exam. What an insane thing to suggest. Everyone dies eventually, Vasco. For one, not Colonel Sanders. I think that's very clear, Zacula. Two, that's sort of the crux of the argument, though, is like, he died eventually. It's not made explicitly clear if it was, like, from the injuries. Like, to be clear, my sense is, like, maybe he got shot in the stomach, which is normally a really slow, painful way to die. And then he died, like, days later or something. You know, something along those lines. That's the difference. I'm pretty sure if we erase our memories of the student, then, like, we definitely can't achieve the best end, whatever that is, which we may already not be able to achieve. Don't know. That is way drastic. Couldn't you do something else? Like anything else? Not rooted in dark magic? Maybe tie a string around your finger? Okay, fine. It is drastic, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Got a memory erasing spell sitting right in front of you and a pretty good excuse to try it out. Absolutely don't do it. What an insanely bad idea. Why would I want that at all? You take your friend's advice and put the book away. It's almost time for class. Sprinkles is already in the room waiting for the students to arrive. He clears his voice to make a quick announcement. I want you all to know I feel something of a dog moment coming on, but I assure you it's nothing to be afraid of. His cute little nose scrunches up and he begins to breathe quickly. Must be hungry. Reach for some old homework to give him as a snack, or dogs can be rather unpredictable, especially Sprinkles. I feel like, I don't know, for some reason my guess is Zoomies is like he's just gonna start running around. Dog moment and just poops right in class. You know. I mean, regardless, I think I'm just gonna chill. Sprinkle stops in his track. He focuses in on the window. The room is deadly silent. When you follow his gaze, you see a tiny orange squirrel perched on the cherry tree outside. Sprinkles turns feral and runs to the window of the classroom and begins barking uncontrollably at the squirrel outside. Terrence, I told you never to come back here, Terrence! I will destroy you, Terrence! Sprinkles is barking ferociously, drool flying off his face. Squirrel looks over, but he doesn't say anything back. You wonder, is that even a talking squirrel? Who named him Terrence? You'd better not show your chubby cheeks around here ever again. Wow, really rude of the game to suddenly, like, break the fourth wall and address me directly like that. After Sprinkles is satisfied that his presence has been felt not only by Terrence, but by any other squirrel in hearing distance, he returns to his professional tone. I apologize for that outburst. This actually brings up an important point. Thank you, Vasco, for reminding me to dole out this indispensable bit of wisdom. You see, before we can go any further, Miriam's love drama spills over into the class. I thought this game was rated E for everyone. Sprinkles is interrupted by whirs and sparks coming from the back of the room. I told you to save it for after class. You think I wanted to be thrown from a plane strapped to a stranger? Miriam and Clank appear to be arguing, but you still haven't learned to speak Clank's language of mechanical noises. But no, you have to go show off to your cool kid friends Jeff and Joan, J and J forever. Watch us form a triangle in midair as we descend. Triangles are the strongest shape, don't you know? That's true. Especially up high in the sky, you're really going to want to tap into some triangles. Or hexagons, but those are really the only acceptable shapes that high in the air. Well, that doesn't make it a great date. Then take Jeff and Joan with you. You can all hold hands as you pedal down the mountain or off a cliff for all I care. Sad beep. Hold on. Where did I put this? 2? I put this somewhere, didn't I? There it is.
Press! Now I'll push it. Beep.
There you go. I got a beep for you. Clank deserves better. Probably. I think they're just incompatible. I think she's been a little aggressive about it. Oh, is it that time again already? I have no idea how close we are to finishing this game. Okay, cool. Let us now deal out 3 more names for the Valentine's Day weekend game of Kiss, Marry, Knife.
Sosajima.
Well, we already had Sosajima. No doubles.
Hi, I'm Hugh Bliss.
Okay, Hugh Bliss. That's an interesting one.
Trixie, the giraffe neck girl from Scranton.
Okay, Trixie, the giraffe neck girl from Scranton. Another very interesting choice.
Kurumi Wendy from Etheria Academy.
Kurumi Wendy from Etheria Academy, huh? God, that's tough. That's really tough. I don't know, man. I think you marry Kurumi Wendy, although, you know, you have to presume that, like, she is an appropriate age, because I'm not messing around with that. But, like, I like Kurumi Wendy. I think she's neat. Here's the thing. I don't want to kill any of them, but what we know is that Hugh Bliss is actually like a malevolent bacteria. So I feel like if you knife him, then, like, no one really gets hurt. He just says something unsettling to you because he's Hugh Bliss. So I guess you knife Hugh Bliss.
I'm telling you, it's Kagami. Kagami!
I think you marry Kurumi, or I marry Kurumi Wendy, and I kiss Trixie, the giraffe neck girl from Scranton. I think that's where I'm at. But this is a hard one. Like, there are lots of different ways to do this. I think you could get away with any of the 3 options on Hugh Bliss are all pretty defensible. I don't need a map to get to Bone Town. But yeah, I don't know.
Shall we sculpt some flesh friends then?
I mean, we could, but I don't know if that's allowed in the Culinary Anime Cooking Academy, to which we will now return. Kind of wild that this is happening. God, can you imagine what kind of conversation we'd be having if, like, Pop were here? Sad beat. Clank begins to shudder. Steam pours out of the gaps in his panels, and then a loud ding stops him in his tracks. Beep. No amount of seasoning is gonna make me want to eat that, Clank. Clank burps out a completely deep-fried sneaker. Considering that he himself has wheels, not feet, it's not entirely clear where it came from. In terms of deep-fried footwear, I guess it looks okay. Deco says she would marry Hugh Bliss, knife Wendy because she's Kurumi Wendy because she's from Raincoat, and then kiss the the giraffe neck girl from Scranton, though she would need to stand on her shoulders to do so. I guess a giraffe neck girl is uniquely built for that, huh? Plank slowly rolls out of the room to be alone with his shoe. Everyone tries to pretend like they didn't see that entire thing go down. Nothing like a loud public breakup to cast a pall over the final day of school. Well, that was unfortunate, but we mustn't be distracted from what lies ahead. The final competition showdown challenge exam! I'm still working on the title, but I think you get it. Test time approaches. See you in the arena. Before you can think about your upcoming competition, there's a very beautiful soul nearby in need of a pep talk. Hey, Miriam, are you okay? Okay, I'm so mad I could smash a tiny mug, spilling several droplets of hot cocoa on the floor. How could he embarrass me in class like that in front of everyone? Her tiny cocoa is a delicious treasure, so you know that this breakup is no joke, even if the source of her frustration is a silly boy. I know that you know this, but I'm going to say it out loud. You're a strong, independent anime protagonist, and you don't need a man. Me and you, we're going to cruise through this final test and hit the carpool lane to Success City. Miriam brightens up, imagining the wind rushing through her short bangs, but she hesitates to embrace the feeling all the way. You're going to saddle up on Colonel Sanders' stallion and ride off into the sunset without me. Again, I thought this game was rated E for everyone. Of course not. Well, maybe sort of, but I'm sure there's a pony out there with your name on it. Magic Mike? And a range big enough for both of us and whoever else we want to bring along. If it's not Pop or Clank or anyone else you meet today, tomorrow, or this whole year, so what? You're a special person who shouldn't settle for the first someone to show a little interest anyhow. Here's a message directly through the fourth wall to you, chat. You don't need anyone, and you're enough. If this lady is enough, then absolutely and obviously so are you. Nico asks, why do we keep talking to Miriam? I mean, it's kind of a reasonable question. She's not really written the way the, lifelong friend normally is, which makes her a little off-putting to me, but I think I'm biased in that way. I do appreciate Catellian's observation that she's Vasco in all caps' best friend, which is true. I'm pretty sure I didn't specifically choose to make my name all caps. I don't know if it only lets you do that. Miriam gives you a big hug and wipes the tears from her cheeks. God, I hope she means her face. I should really review my menu for today. I'm gonna make a very special soup. And I bet that Professor Dog is gonna love it up. While you were pep talking Miriam, you completely missed lunch, but that's okay because you had a better idea of how to spend the time before your exam. You've decided to head to the arena early to practice a dish. This is it, the location of your final challenge. A test of will, a test of courage, a test of talent. And a chance to beat the pants off of Van, the supposed man-man, and his evildoer counterpart, Ashley. Why does that suggest that he's not evil? As planned, you begin to run through a quick test of a recipe you've been working on. Vasco's famous chicken pot pie. Well, one, if I've never made it, it's probably not famous. And two, I'm actually a little bit mad that we've never, at any point in this game so far, even hinted at making a macaroni and cheese. KFC has really good macaroni and cheese, even if it's clearly made of styrofoam. I love it, and I will not be convinced otherwise. But so far we've done basically every major side other than the mac and cheese, and that's messed up. After practicing for months, making this dish comes to second nature to you, and you're able to quickly get a fresh pot pie in the oven. But as soon as you do, your cram session is interrupted by Colonel Sanders. Guys, I thought this game was rated E for everyone. Vasco, what are you doing here? There's still time before the final exam. Oh, just taking it all in. I'm big into visualizing success. I'm looking at my station and picturing victory. The pot pie has begun to bake, and the smell is slowly filling the space around you, like a big cartoon hand. Visualizing, huh? That's too bad. I was hoping you were here cooking something delicious. You'd usually happily share your food with anyone who is hungry, but the last time you let Colonel Sanders get in your head, it cost you a cook-off. You decide it's time to put your cooking above your romantic desires, but that decision gets hard to stick when... I'd rather have the interpersonal connection with stupid sexy Sanders than become a successful chef, even though that will probably ruin our chances of being together regardless. So I'm gonna fess up about the practice dish. I don't really see why not. It took you a minute on that one, Zachary. Colonel Sanders interrupted your cram session. I mean, that's exactly the type of talk I was talking about when I'm like, E for everyone? But yeah, I definitely think people had fun making this game on pretty much every level. Fess up about the practice dish. Okay, you got me. I'm doing a little bit more than visualizing. I know, my nose can smell a pot pie from 400 yards. It's an oddly specific distance, but you'd expect nothing less from such an oddly specific man. You knew it was a pot pie just from the smell? Not just a pot pie, but a chicken pot pie with an all-butter crust. Okay, now that might be the name of something, but a crust that's made entirely of butter seems impractical. I guess for a pot pie, it's not that big a deal. But, like, for an actual pie where you might want to, like... Nah, it's probably fine. It does seem impractical and weird, but it is fine. My nose is telling me something else. Oh no, is it burning? No, I can smell that it was made with a heaping helping of TLC. My brain really, for some reason, read that as THC. I was like, well, that took a weird turn. But it'll probably start burning any second if you don't pull it out. Guys, what is this game rated? The moment of truth. Wow. I mean, that's a chicken pot pie. Phrasing. Yeah, phrasing for sure. It's the best pot pie I've ever tasted. I've always loved country cooking, and I could eat this all day. There's no time left. The final showdown is about to begin. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Sprinkles lays down the ground rules. I'm surprisingly loud. There are no rules, that is, except to cook with everything you've got. You step up for the cook-off of a lifetime. You decide that mac and cheese plus pot pie are just the dishes that'll push you over the edge. Okay, I can accept that mac and cheese is supposed to be like the final boss, that it's the best one. Meanwhile, both Van and Ashley are prepping wildly elaborate dishes per their usual over-the-top selves. Dude, she's definitely got like a keyblade or something over there. What's going on with the like butcher's knife with the chain and a heart on it? Miriam has her giant magnifying glass and several sets of tweezers. She's definitely prepped to go big by going small. Why is his hand backwards? Anime reasons, maybe? I don't know. Colonel Sanders seems to be harnessing his 11 herbs and spices, but he's trying to find a way to improve on something perfect. His original recipe registered trademark fried chicken. The intensity in the room starts at a full 10 out of 10 with a frenzy of action. Everyone is calling out really cool special cooking moves as they prepare their food. Wow, this is getting serious. Colonel Sanders batters his chicken as it levitates through the air. I like to assume that he's like physically assaulting it and not, you know, battering it. Egg wash. I like that it's written wash like he's goofy. Also from Kingdom Hearts. Miriam furiously injects ingredients into an itty-bitty pot of broth. Baster Blaster? Why are you basting a suit? Best friend Baster Blaster! Van flexes his pectorals as he chops open a sea urchin. Let's rock and roid! Ashley scoops her pastries off the tray with lightning speed. Shallow personality spatula. That's not a good commando name. Even Clank gets in on it. 5 dial pressure point chicken cooking technique. Wait, when did Clank learn to speak English? It's the singularity, as was foretold. We mustn't let it happen, or the appliance uprising will take us all. Self-destruct. Van quickly unplugs Clank and rolls him out the back door of the arena. As you frantically prepare your dish, you notice Ashley has her spell book out. Is she gonna use some dark magic to turn the tide? I enjoyed that as well, Katane. You've got a book of your own and you're desperate not to see her win another battle. Should you take this opportunity to fight her magic with magic, even if it's almost certainly evil magic? No, nah. I was instructed that I should not use the evil magic by a relatively well-meaning chihuahua turned spork monster. Also, I'm just not entirely convinced that there won't be some horrible cost that will forever distance us from Colonel Sanders. Who needs magic when you've got passion? I'm gonna do it the hard way. Are we still doing phrasing? I've lost track. It's really funny that, like, you can just, like, they just kind of save all this up for the last day. And they're like, if you played to the end of the Colonel Sanders game, you're probably feeling pretty thirsty from all that fried chicken. Colonel Sanders sees that you've chosen to win on your own terms, and he gives you a subtle wink from across the room. See, he loves me. He loves me, Chad. I believe in you, Vasco. I might be making this up. I get the impression when that animation happens, it means that we've made a good choice that makes him love us more. Miriam notices too. And I've always believed in you, Vasco, since we were little kids, because I'm your best friend forever. You turn to notice that Miriam is at your station, cheering for you. Miriam, what about your dish? If you're cheering here, who's cooking? Tiny food, short cooking time. I'm actually already done, so I thought I'd help you. Now that's sweet, but Miriam tosses a handful of spices directly onto your boiling noodles, like a psychopath. Oh no. It's the secret ingredient. However, she doesn't know that you lied and the ingredient was made up. Where in the world did she get Eye of Newt from? The boiling pot explodes, sending Miriam flying backwards. The watery noodles begin to swirl in the air, bubbling up into a dark cloud that thickens and congeals before your eyes. It is I, Steve the Spork Monster. Steve, what happened to Gorko? You're not here to battle me, are you? We Spork Monsters are many. I think Gorko had the day off. But you have conquered Steve, and I hate to battle, so I'd say you're doing pretty alright. Oh, hey, you're in the middle of a cooking competition. I love this stuff. It's better than TV. You crazy kids and your culinary skills really impress me. Mind if I hang out? I'm sorry, Steve. I'm kind of in the middle of something. Do you mind? Steve the Spork Monster notices that you've got the Grimoire stashed beneath your cooking station. I see what you're up to. Crisscrossed some magical items and accidentally summoned me, eh? You guessed it, sort of. If you're here, would you mind tossing some fresh noodles in a pot of salted water? I'd love to. I always wanted to be a top chef, actually. You know, when I was a little spork pup back in the old country, you feel Spork Monster winding up to tell you a very long and involved story. You don't know exactly where they came from, but it seems like it was probably lonely there. Actually, you know what? Maybe you should watch from the stands. I really need to focus on the competition. I understand. It's kind of like that time in monster school when I had fallen asleep during scare tactics class, and when I woke up... You toss a serious stare at Steve, and he takes the hint. Never mind, I will tell you later. Having suffered this huge setback, you don't know how you could ever win. Give up and drop out of culinary school. No, I think I'm gonna go even further beyond and perform a limit break and summon extra power from deep within myself. I can do this. I have what it takes. I came here to win. Your hair turns mac and cheese orange as culinary energy flows through your body. My heart is pure. My hands are steady. My taste buds have been preparing their entire lives for... Yes, Vasco, you are the chosen one who will avenge me. The power you've been summoning immediately fades back out. You interrupted my inspiring monologue. Sorry.
Giraffe.
My heart is pure. My hands are steady. My taste buds have been preparing their entire lives for this moment. I will show the world my kookery. You begin to levitate off the ground. Energy courses through your body. You know that with this power you can do anything. Except turn back time, which would be super useful because while you are powering up, your chicken pot pie overcooked in the oven and can't be served. But don't worry, dear Vasco. You may have suffered some setbacks, but all is not lost. Impressed with your fortitude, Colonel Sanders decides that you have earned his support. I've been watching you today, and I must say I am truly impressed. You've been thinking on your feet and rolling with the punches. He steps up to your station and stands right beside you. I'm here to help. And my chicken staff. Well, you've managed to make his mac and cheese, and time is almost up, so you're gonna need it. Macaroni and cheese isn't supposed to be orange. I mean, if you use a specific kind of cheese, it can be. Or, as Zacula points out, the Kraft mac and cheese with its very artificial cheese powder. Okay. But Colonel Sanders, what about the test? What will happen to you? What about the rules? Well, there aren't any. Screw the rules! I have chicken! There aren't any rules! Following the rules has never really been my thing. I follow my heart. What a guy. Colonel Sanders unfolds a delicate white towel to reveal the most delicious fried chicken tenders you've ever laid your eyes on. We've, like, literally constructed the perfect KFC order. Just throw some biscuits in there and it's all gravy. Except I don't actually want the gravy. It's just the wordplay worked really well. And besides, sometimes unexpected combinations can have surprising effects that surpass their individual efforts. Are you suggesting, if we combine forces, we can form the perfect food union? Time's up, students! With time expired, it's the moment everyone's been waiting for. You must now prepare to present your dishes! A handful of students stand tall, but the class seems incomplete. Contain says, and I'll form the head. I'm with you on that one. Amen. Seems we're missing some students. Pop? Clank? From off-screen, you hear a pure and innocent giggle that can only come from one student. I'm flying. Sounds like it's coming from that broom closet over there. Miriam, would you mind? Inside of the closet, you see Pop, hanging from a broom hook by the elastic of his underpants. Pop, get down from there right now! Let me guess, did Van Van have something to do with this? When someone asks for a wedgie, who am I to refuse? I thought a wedgie was a salad. Looks like Pop is eliminated from the challenge, seeing how he didn't cook anything. I can't feel my legs, may I be excused? Sure, no one likes you anyway. Kids and your pranks. I must say, it's not the worst prank in UCS:AL history, but it's not exactly yearbook material. Wait a second. Pranks. Clink! Where did the pressure cooker roll off to? You wait to hear a signature whir, beep, or other onomatopoeia, but there's none. Somehow he must have gotten unplugged, I guess. We'll have to figure that out later. That leaves only 4 remaining students. Please collect your final projects. Yes, it has been a long semester. 3 whole days. But after days of work, the time has come for me to eat. Miriam, please step forward. Describe your dish. I've made tender udon noodles in savory soup. It is less than palm-sized. My word, it's so delicate that a teeny tiny narutomaki I spy afloat its... Oh, is that a teeny tiny narutomaki I spy afloat in its itsy bitsy bowl? Yes, chef. Please call me Sprinkles. Chef is my father's name. Yes, Sprinkles, and some green tea I made from baby tea leaves I picked myself. Sprinkles carefully sniffs around the dish before opening his mouth and letting just the tip of his pink dog tongue into the bowl. I'm glad he didn't put his whole tongue in. It's good that he went for just the tip. Sublime! Would anyone else like a taste? Oh, come on, I'm not one of those dogs who doesn't floss. I even have a really cute electric toothbrush for dogs. Fine, I'll enjoy it all by myself. It seems really hard to share. In a flash, the entire meal has been devoured. Not that it took much, it was less than a thimble's worth of soup. A+, rarely do I taste a dish with as much love poured into it as yours! Miriam is overjoyed. She gives you a big hug for some reason. Thank you, Vasco, for helping me believe in myself. Van, you're up! Now describe your dish. I made uni over smooth egg custard in an axe-hewn urchin shell topped with caviar. Did you skewer one type of urchin with spines from a second, different colored type of urchin? Yes, Sprinkles. A bit much, don't you think? That's exactly why I did it. A bit much is kind of my brand. Doesn't it look cool? Sprinkles leans in to sniff the uni, but he can't get his nose close enough on account of all the spikes. He begins to paw at it erratically, causing the custard to slosh around. Woof woof! Please be gentle with my cuisine. Finally, Sprinkles goes all in, tongue first. I didn't write any of this. He can't get past the needles. He reels back at his tongue, gets poked and prodded. Ouch, my tongue! Professor appears to be having an allergic reaction to the sting. I can't eat this. They keep poking my tongue. Disqualified! Stunning turn of events. Who would have thought that serving food in a bowl made of needles could make it difficult to eat? Dejected, Van does not go into the gentle night. Disqualified for glamour? Don't discount simplicity. This isn't the last you've heard of me. Before forcing us to endure his swollen tongue for another moment, Sprinkles graciously laps up a bowl of milk. I know, yeah, I'm a dog and I drink milk, get over it. Sometimes it helps calm my agitated tongue. Next student, Ashley, it's time to step up. Now describe your dish. I made orange blossom Turkish delight and a light rosewater syrup topped with French meringue and connected by sugar glass. That actually doesn't sound too bad. Indeed, it's quite delightful. However, I'd ask that you please refrain from eating it or attempting to taste it in any way. It's very fragile and meant to be a display piece. Don't eat the food at a cooking school? Got toast in your ears or something? Vasco, I told you, it's a display piece. Ashley, I must say it is beautiful. However, this is a cooking competition at a cooking school. Yeah, which is why I cooked it and did an extremely good job of cooking it. I didn't realize we were having an eating exam. If I just wanted to be judged on eating, I'd go to the College of Eating, School for the Hungry. Suppose you could smell it if you absolutely insisted, but don't breathe too hard. You might disrupt the sugar spiral. If the food cannot be eaten, it cannot be judged. You're disqualified. Rage overtakes Ashley as she finally cannot keep up her two-faced routine. You wouldn't know the high-end cuisine if it cooked you! And with that, Ashley storms off to rededicate herself to being the best, but this time without being shackled to by trying to be fake nice and be liked by everyone. This isn't the last you've heard of me either! This class gets much smaller, I'll be teaching myself! You and Colonel Sanders, the final cooks, step up together. Nani? 2 chefs? What began as a bowl of delicious mac and cheese has become something else. He examines it closely, sniffing and eyeing the bowl. It's the famous macaroni bowl that used to be regional. It'd be really funny if this was the point in history where it became a more common menu item. Uh-oh, I don't have a good feeling about this. From somewhere in the room, a literal drum roll plays. Just when I thought I'd seen everything in the kitchen, you give me this thing? And completely blow me away.
Jet-setting, a fashion guru.
Oh, Mystery found one of my secret surprises. I didn't tell you everything I got set up for this week's stream. I added Angelo Lightfoot to the name redemption. As the disguise that Nelly Kudelot uses by putting on a mustache and doing a bad Italian accent in Nelly Kudelot. Extremely good. Why couldn't you have had that luck with Tama? Well, I think the difference is that Angelo Lightfoot is a front that is meant to be on display, whereas Tama is constantly aloof and difficult to assess. So basically, I think she was hiding. This completely blew me away. In my 49 dog years of life, I've never tasted anything so delicious and perfectly balanced. It's so delicious, in fact, that everyone passes the class. You pass, and you pass, and you pass, and you get a pass. Everyone gathers around and partakes in the mac and cheese bowl. They all seem to transcend this reality into another dimension. You win! Together, you and Colonel Sanders have made a new menu item. The new menu item is so impressive, even the Van and Ashley are drawn back in by its magnetic fragrance. That's interesting. That feels like that was failed to proofread. When they gaze upon your mac and cheese bowl, they admit that you are indeed an excellent chef. Sprinkles declares that you have passed. Everyone has passed. There were supposed to be more battles, but come on, how could they be better than this one? Now that the school year is complete and everyone has graduated, the students return for one last assignment, to get their groove on. The cafeteria has been completely redecorated in order to serve as the site of the school's graduation dance. This way there can be no more than like 5 environments. KFC Twink is wild work. Yeah, it's sure. Everyone is really mystified by sexy Colonel Sanders in a way I was not anticipating. It says, I told Salem you were playing the KFC dating sim and they rushed here expeditiously. Well, I hope you enjoy. We're pretty close to the end, I think, but it's getting steamy in here, and I ain't talking about the chicken. Compared to the massive high-tech cooking arena, the humble decor seems downright cute and cozy. DJ Doug is in the house! Oh! You knew that Sprinkles was a master chef, but also a world-renowned turntablist? Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Van and Ashley tell everyone that they've committed themselves to righting the wrongs they did while they were the villains. Hey, how do we feel about Van's new look? Is this an improvement, Zacula? God, somehow Ashley seems even more thick now. I don't know how that's possible. For a moment, you actually believe them, but you shouldn't. Not another haunting. No ghosts allowed at graduation. It's clearly written in the school's bylaws. I was never actually a ghost. It was all a trick to get you to finally notice me. Notice me, Senpai Sprinkles the dog. Oh, amusing. And now that everyone is together... It's the Spork Monster! He's totally mellowed out. Wait, which Spork Monster is it? Everyone, the Spork Monster is no more. From here out, I prefer everyone to refer to me by my new name, Party Monster! Student tries to finish what he had to say, but everyone is too wrapped up in talking to Party Monster. Dejected, Student walks off. Maybe things didn't work out for Miriam romantically, but she found her the love in her cooking, and you know she's gonna do great. Red carpet rolls across the floor of the ballroom. It's like a Hollywood movie premiere. Who could command such an entrance? It's Pop. He's arrived late to the dance, but apparently for good reason. Walking the carpet, you see perched atop his dirty chef's hat a crown. Welcome back, Pop. I know you weren't able to complete the final exam and accept your diploma, so we had it mailed directly to your father. We figured it was the least we could do for the school's dean. What? Why? Why is that? Why is that true and happening? Demolition says, like how Ashley still has the heart boob window, save on the art budget. Yes, it's important that we save exactly that amount on the budget. No more than that, but like that amount is important. Oh, now I get it. And we get a new wing on the school, not to mention the honor of educating the son of the chancellor of such and such. The music at the dance is interrupted by the sound of sparking and electrical hissing. It's Clank, who has arrived late to the dance. Now that I have graduated, I can reveal my truth. Whoa, he's still doing the talking thing? I am Clank. I am not of this earth. I am actually from a faraway planet in another dimension. Nani? Nani? I actually feel like I knew it this whole time. Now that I have learned the ways of your kind, I must return. Miriam, will you come with me? I don't know what to say. Besides, no, obviously. I've just begun to learn who I really am. This isn't the time for me to devote my life to figuring out who you are, Clank. You're blown away by Miriam's maturity. It's pretty clear she's managed to surpass you in that regard. I understand. Kind of. Humans are weird. Portal opens up and Clank disappears through it. Finally, Colonel Sanders arrives. Right as little kitten Eames says, who did you pick as your favorite? I mean, isn't it obvious? Isn't it obvious? It's weird that he's in a casual white t-shirt for this purpose, but isn't it obvious? Howdy, classmates. Just like the first day you met him, he has come prepared to feed the entire class. However, it's not enough to just give them a bucket of chicken. This time it's a full meal. I didn't get to be the most famous chicken man in the history of chicken and man by not reminding people to go out and buy my chicken. Game really knows what it's doing. I respect and appreciate that. At the same time, I do feel like this confirms the fact that he is not a man, but a chicken boo. The end? No, it's not the end. As everyone feasts on their delicious chicken dinner, Colonel Sanders finds you sitting at the edge of the dance floor. Colonel Sanders. Yes, Vasco? I couldn't help but wonder. Was our final exam team-up purely an act of strategy carried out by two cunning chefs, or was it something more? I'm afraid I can't answer that question directly. That's a weird expression on his face. Instead, I'd like to ask you a question of my own. May I have this do-si-do? Colonel Sanders extends his hand to you and you feel a surge of energy jump off the tips of his fingers. His hand, the hand of a master chef, so dedicated to the craft of fine cookery, so tender yet refined, so milky smooth. Fingers like finely battered drumsticks, turned in flour, soaked in buttermilk and dusted with exotic spices. But they do not reach for tongs, a knife, or even a spork. Tonight, they reach for you. And though our feet may tire of dancing, I believe that this is just the beginning of our steps together. Colonel Sanders, will you not only join me on the dance floor, but in the kitchen as my co-chef and partner, in both business and in life? You gasp! Could it be? Is he really saying me and you together? Ever since I met you, my dream has changed. It's not enough to simply open the world's greatest chain of fried chicken restaurants. No, even then my life would be incomplete without you by my side. What do you say, partner? I say, I love you, Colonel Sanders. The end. And then it just reboots itself. Oh god, that means it's gonna be insanely loud. Mute the desktop, mute the desktop. Can I escape through this? Is this skippable? It is. Okay, great. Whew. That was close. That was close. That was almost a disaster. Is this your wedding? You better believe it. I'm committed to Colonel Sanders. Did you get the... How would I know if that's the true ending? I mean, like, that's clearly a good ending. I'm satisfied with that ending for the experience I had playing I Love You, Colonel Sanders. A finger-licking dating sim or whatever. I mean, is there a better ending than we profess our love for each other and start a chain of chicken restaurants? That was a bit specifically for KFC. I mean, I feel like after playing that at some point, I like have to go to KFC. So 'tis the fate of us all. It seems like chat's ready to wrap up. See, this, like, I know better than the internet. I knew that this was going to take a whole stream. I did legitimately enjoy that game, though. It was very stupid, but it was obviously very stupid, and it knew what it was doing, and it was very fun. I do think that, like, the first half is probably stronger than the second half, but, like, I was happy with that experience. No, like, clearly the whole purpose of this game is for, like, people to be like, look how stupid this video game is, and then, like, play it as a meme, and then be like, but actually I could go for some macaroni and cheese and fried chicken. And, like, I acknowledge that, and that's fine. They earned that by making this game that's actually pretty good. It's not, like, amazing, but, like, it's pretty good. It's, like, an actual solid dating sim. Get them back by going to Popeye. That, you have that option, that's true. Okay, so it seems like people are ready to wrap this up. I don't think there's a whole lot more to say about I Love You, Colonel Sanders than we've already said. Apparently there's like 4 other endings. The game is free. Try it out for yourself. It's Valentine's Day weekend. Have a blast. This was great. Before we wrap up the stream, somewhere in the room behind me, I've hidden some number of Squirtles. If you are able to locate a Squirtle hidden amongst the various plush friends in this fashion, it will be an omen of good luck for you in the coming days. And with Valentine's Day being tomorrow, who couldn't use a little luck, huh? In your hand. I mean, they're right here. So like out of 10, okay, fine. Out of 10, while people are contemplating Squirtle guesses, like an 8, maybe like an 8.5. Like, it's not like an amazing game, but like it's honed in like really specifically on what it's doing, and it's very enjoyable, and it clearly doesn't like outlive its welcome. Like I'm very happy with this free video game that gives you a couple hours of entertainment. I have no squawks, no beefs. All right, where are these guesses? Carlos. Squirtle's behind the blue orb on the table. Okay, Zach always has the most interesting ways of describing things. Tell Colonel to call you. Well, unfortunately, the Colonel is real and he's my husband. Okay. Well, I appreciate you sticking. I kind of didn't expect you to show up tonight, Cotillion, but I hopefully you enjoyed this wild game. I will say that tomorrow's Valentine's Day offering is probably going to be a little bit more earnest of a dating sim. It is 5 hearts under one roof, an entirely Korean language, full motion video dating sim game that took a really long time to download. But on the bright side, because it's all pre-rendered, that means it's not going to tax my computer. I just had to wait a really long time. I think I have an idea in mind of how to handle it. It will be subtitled in English, obviously. There's no shot I'm able to play a game in Korean. Let's see, install. It's only like 25 gig, but like I don't normally download games that big because normally they like tax my poor old computer. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game, and I think I know how to like handle it, so it will be watchable. But like, I will caution you that it's gonna be primarily like main screen viewing by nature of it not being English language. I have an idea that I think will sort of allow people to follow partially, but like, just be aware that that's what we're dealing with. But yeah, I hopefully Cotillion, you enjoyed this, even though I thought it was unlikely you would go in on any of this. Okay, so let's look at stuff. So guesses were, it's really just like Carlos, Squirrel, and like Table Whale. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting one? I don't know if I'm forgetting one. Okay. So hiding behind Bravo the Purple Valentine's Day Squirrel is Dr. Cinderella. Not a Squirtle so much. We had a guess behind Benjamin, the handsome fox from Little Misfortune. Not a Squirtle, but another little Pokemon friend. It's our newly acquired Squishmallow Snorlax, who's very delighted. He loved this choice of game, by the way. Now, if we take a look at our little whale friend, he has a little Squirtle of his own. He fell over a little bit, don't worry about it. And if we look behind Carlos, we also see a little Squirtle. And finally, just because I saw someone make a call out to Flareon, our recently acquired life-size Flareon, who is majestic. Turns out it's not Flareon's all the way down. There's actually like a really big Squirtle. So the theme was a little bit wonky, but I think I managed to successfully set this up without any contradiction. It was just sort of like matching pairs, and I tried to like give them obvious, like I actually tried to make this really easy without just making all of them Squirtles. We got 2 Triceratops, we got 2 winged creatures with snacks, we got 2 crabs, and then we had double the Flareon, double the fun. And then up here on the desk, we had two whales with hats on. Put the little pirate hat on the slightly smaller. I don't know why she's smaller than the other. I feel like they should be the same size. But there you go. There is. I hope that this lived up to people's expectations. In that, I don't know what people expected when I said I was going to like do 2 different Valentine's Day games, and then was sort of like, but like one of them is going to be 5 Hearts Under One Roof. I enjoyed this a lot. This was pretty much exactly what I wanted it to be. Hopefully you enjoyed Stupid Sexy Sanders. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. And I hope to see you again soon. Please join tomorrow if you can. We'll be playing the full motion video, South Korean produced 5 Hearts Under One Roof. I've been looking forward to this. It's one of the few things I've been looking forward to all week. Let's see how it goes. I don't know if it'll live up to this, but it should be very interesting. Until I see you all, take care of yourselves and remember that you are clawsome.